Boom, and we're live. What's going on? Can you hear me, Whales Only?
Yeah, bro. What's up? My bad. I had myself on mute. Man, that intro was fire, bro.
Oh, thank you, man. Appreciate it.
My favorite part is when Charlie Rose is like, didn't you start with 88 billion? Don't day trade. No further comment. That was the killer, bro. Oh, shit. That was good,
man. Okay, man. The guys want fucking double intro, man.
Yo, that shit was good, bro.
Hit the like button. I'm gonna hit the double intro. Let's go, man. Fuck it. Double intro, baby.
Can't blame them, bro. Both of them joints is fire.
Yo, Whales, man, how you been, man? Good?
I've been good, brother. Living a good life. You already know, man.
Heck yeah, man. Yo,
staked and chilled at all times. I was actually in Albany yesterday, bro.
Really? Whoa.
Yeah, I went to that U.S. road trip pit stop for the Hex Road Tour. And I got to tell you, bro, we are so early. It's disgusting. Yeah. Like, I woke up today with all kinds of epiphanies after that shit last night. I mean, you really had people in there that didn't even know, like, what a crypto is, like, just basic.
Yeah.
Just not any kind of knowledge whatsoever. And they were curious enough to show up, even though they didn't even know the bare minimum. Like, they didn't even do, a Google search. Like, it's crazy. Like, we're so early, it's
insane.
Yeah, like we're too deep in order to understand how early we are. We really are. A lot of us are just too deep into this game, and that really gave me a new level of appreciation for the nonsense I'm talking about, because I can't even talk to those people. Like, what am I going to tell them? Oh, you don't know what a T-share is? Like, motherfucker, I don't know what a crypto is, right?
What's a blockchain?
Yeah, exactly. They don't know what a blockchain is. You're right. So,
do I hook that to my computer with dial-up, or like how does that?
Yeah, bro. Like, no kind of knowledge. So, it's early days is not even the word. Like, we're super early. like
super,
crazy.
super, super early.
Yeah,
I mean, right now, we are still pre-viral on Hex, and honestly, we're still pre-viral even on crypto and Bitcoin.
yeah.
Man, we're as I mean, honestly, I know everyone's like beefing all with the coin market cap sites, but if we're just to go off the market cap that they're saying, supposedly, we are currently at a $2.7 trillion market cap. That's nothing.
Correct.
That's
It's
nothing.
nothing at all. It's funny, when I first started streaming, that was one of the first points I made, just in general, about the whole space, is the simple fact that when you look at the legacy side of the market, that's trillions with 3 digits,
Mm,
not two. Like, that space is huge. So for people to think that this is some type of, I don't know, top, like, no, Bitcoin's gonna keep going. All these things are gonna keep going, but you gotta understand they're gonna go up and down at their own pace. It's not gonna be when somebody on TV says so.
right.
Like, that's the big problem we have. Like, we got a bunch of clowns in the space, and people gotta understand how markets work. It's not because of what your homie said on his YouTube stream. I'm sorry. It's just not how it works.
Anyway, no, like actually, right now is a great price. I think this is a cool price for Hex. I mean, honestly, this is right around the level that I thought of, right? For what were we going to hit? Because I think if I remember right, for the first, I think the all time high for the sacrifice phase,
It
or for
was
the
about
sack phase. I'm sorry, for the sack phase.
21, 22 cents. It was right
Something like
around here.
that, yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just kept seeing the 18 cents as a resistance and stuff, and we've hit like right now we're at 17 cents, and then I hit right now recently we've hit like a low I think of 16 cents,
Yeah.
unless you're not counting a wick because I know there was a wick that went a little lower.
Yeah, it was 15.6 cents on the wick. Yeah, I
Oh
mean,
man, that shit's gold.
this is the thing about Hex that a lot of people, it's hard for them to wrap their head around. Like, why stake it? And that's like the primary point of this conversation is, you
Right,
stake it because you don't want to miss days where 4x the payout is given to you.
right.
Simple. Because the reality is that you can't find something that works like Hex. Like, you don't gotta, like, bro, I might check go.hex.com like once every other week. I don't need to check it. Like,
Mm,
even when I go there and get the t-shirt prices, because that's where I go to get my t-shirt prices, I'm not checking my stakes, bro. For what? I
yeah,
honestly don't need to. In reality, I do not need to. So I don't take the time to do so. And that's a function of maturity, a function of me understanding my game and what I'm trying to do, right? Because looking at the price every day isn't going to do anything for me. I can't
right.
spend it. I can't do anything with it. So all I have to
No,
do is sit back,
though
basically.
for some of us with a different staking strategy,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, for those of you with the active staking strategy,
I mean,
it's a
us
different ball
Pepe's
game.
out here,
Yeah,
us
it's a different
Pepe's
ball.
out here, we
Pepe's.
So I mean, like honestly, like all staking strategies are bad. Well, okay, there's some staking strategies that are really stupid, but but generally it's like Pareto principle. 80% of them are suffice. It just depends on mental
You.
fortitude in these diamond
Yeah,
hands,
it
basically.
depends on you mostly. I mean,
Yeah.
you're making that decision. Nobody else is. I mean, you don't even have to stake, right?
No. Well. Well.
You don't have
Yeah.
to.
I mean that's true. I mean that's true. Actually, yeah. You don't. I guess you don't have to stake, but obviously it
It's
does. I
dumb
mean,
not to.
yeah.
It's
I mean
dumb not to,
it.
but you don't have to.
I mean, it's true. I mean, it's true. I mean, well, right now there actually is a reason if you want liquid PHEX if you ever do want the snapshot, that's kind of like a one time event sort of thing that's going on in
Hmm.
Hex right now. It's sort of it is kind of cool that every 6 months, 8 months we do have like these events that start popping up.
Right.
The first big one is obviously, I mean, the first ones that were obviously was the AAs. And then that transitioned to like, oh shit, this is the last day of the big payday. You want to get your big payday. After that, it was like, oh, the sacrifice chamber. Now it's sack phase. Then
Hmm.
oh my god. Um, yeah, and then there was probably after that, it's going to be the launch of PulseChain, and then there's going to be this whole thing of like providing liquidity with Hex,
Yeah.
and then bridging over like RC20 tokens into Hex to yield form to get either to get PulseChain token or probably the
Whatever
whatever
the
whatever, whatever we call the pancake token that
yeah, whatever the
we're
swap token is gonna be called. Yeah.
yeah, waffles.
I don't know. Bro. I don't even know anything about that except for that it's not as good as X. That's all I know about yield
Yeah.
farming. That's all I know.
I mean, personally, my strategy is like I'll yield farm. I'll do a little strategy. It's always good to have a little moon bag. I've just learned
Mhm.
through crypto long enough. Like you always keep a little moon bag. Like the other day I was talking about this in a stream that we were talking about this actually earlier when we were talking about mana and how that shit was going fucking
Mm.
crazy like
Mhm.
Decentraland
Yep.
with the games and stuff.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, holy shit, like I added up what I spent. At the time it was not that much money, but like what I spent in mana and
Right.
NFTs,
Right.
bro, it's disgusting.
Yeah, I bet. I bet.
It is like 8 figures today.
Oh fuck. Ah.
I mean,
Yeah, and here's the thing, right? Like, when I talk about what I talk about, I strictly talk about wealth generation, not
right.
speculation, right? And that's why people think I have this maxi stance, and it's like, no, I'm not. I'm not a maxi, bro. I'm just not gonna talk about speculation because that's not what I signed up for. So we could talk speculation all day, but your ass better understand you ain't getting no fucking short shots from me,
Mm.
bitch, because motherfuckers want to act like it's your fault.
Right. Yeah, well, yeah, they're just trying to blame you for something. I mean,
Yeah,
they're
exactly.
reaching, they're reaching. They're
Hmm.
re- I mean, sure. I mean, sure. Do I like talking about moon math and possibly like possible events? Of course, soothsayer Miguel here. But but of course, at the end of the day, that's why in the disclaimer I do put like at the end of the day
Hmm.
you push the green or the red button, and
Right.
it's true. Like I mean, that's like the red pill mentality. That I mean, you gotta be a man. You gotta take responsibility for what you do, but it's at the same time too, right? I mean, you want to position yourself in the correct asset class. Like Hex is a great coin. As a bare
Crypto
minimum, I
is
do.
great.
Yeah,
Crypto itself is great, bro. You just gotta find the right buckets, and that's the hard part.
Yeah. Well, one thing I do love about crypto, no matter what, like I did some backtracking. Like what I started getting all like metaphysical or spiritual on myself and just thinking like, let's just say I didn't get into Hex, right? Would
Right.
I still have made it? And I did the math and stuff, and I was like, yeah, I was like, oh, that's cool. But obviously,
That's what's
I'm
up.
better off with Hex.
Yeah, I mean,
but
clearly, Hex makes life easy, right?
yeah, it makes life easy and stuff like. But it was nice. Like that was like it wasn't just a fluke,
Correct.
which is like a big thing too. Because some people do live with that whole thing of like, did I just get lucky, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and it wasn't that. So I was like, whew, now cool. But with the reason I do like Hex is because it's so passive. Like what I love about it is like I take you. I mean, for just as like an FYI for people who don't know. So when we do the crypto mindset courses, like a bare minimum recommendation, at a minimum we kind of recommend 20% allocation into Hex. That's the minimum. And when we say that, that also means like in the future it might increase to 30% if there's once the PulseChain ecosystem goes live. But there'd be kind of a split because people are pretty decisive. I know you may feel some type of way about that, but like some people might be more. It's like I'm a little like in the middle here. Like I don't know what to feel honestly in terms of like I love Hex as it is right now in terms other than the fucking other than the gas fees. I mean, if the
Hmm.
gas fees weren't terrible, I mean everything would be kumbaya, really.
Right. Nobody would even care about a pulse chain, bro. It wouldn't matter.
Right, but then P.
Right? Like it wouldn't matter. Like we
Well,
wouldn't. We
yeah,
wouldn't need it. We wouldn't need it. Like we wouldn't be going through all this shit. That's why
yeah,
pulse chain is gonna be fucking huge because the whole goddamn market needs that shit.
right. So yeah, that's true too. We're filling the niche. I mean, we're creating. I mean, basically what's going on is like we like worst case, best case. Like Hex was Iron Man. And
Right.
now we're making the Marvel universe cinematic universe right now.
Right. 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 I mean,
Cinematic
it's
universe.
crazy, right? Because you know, like I get the whole thing about diversification, all that. Like I get it, right? Like everybody doesn't have the fortitude. Everybody doesn't have the balls to put everything in one sack. I get it. Number one, it's not smart. Number two, everybody doesn't have the same capacity to see what everybody else sees, right? And that's just the way it is. And that's
Yeah.
fine. That's perfectly fine. But you're doing yourself a disservice when you're not educating yourself to the proper level of
Mm.
understanding why the fuck so many people are, right? Because it can't be that many people are fucking wrong.
Right.
Because when something is creating fucking retired people on a consistent basis, something must be going right over there,
I mean,
right?
it's what I call the box. I mean, in terms of what if when I look at hex and stuff, or even
Hmm.
PulseChain, let's just put the whole thing in one box. Like when I call what I call the hex universe is
Well,
basically.
to me,
I
it's
mean,
not really the same. It's not really the same because the hands we're gonna see in Pulse are not gonna be the same hands we're gonna see in Hex. It's
right. But
just
the thing
not.
is, we do need like this is something like I gotta argue with you a little bit on is like
Argue
there
all you
was
want, brother. Don't.
I mean it's not in a terrible way, but there was points in time in with hex where like it was getting stale at times. Like I'll admit that and stuff. I
Of
mean,
course, right? Sale. What do you mean?
yeah, there's parts of it was stale just because when obviously we're a finished product, which is
Hmm.
dope.
Yeah, that's the point, bro. That's
I know
exactly
that's the
the
point,
point.
but it is the whole thing. You do need speculation in order to help price go up as well. Because like the onboarding slowed down for a little bit, so it is kind of nice to have sort of stuff like that. So you're able to bring people. So in a way, we're almost able to farm another ecosystem in order
Hmm.
to just bring money into it, and then that's why I think it's very important that it does get created, basically.
Well,
You know.
here's the thing, right? Why did speculation stop in Hex? Because
What do
fucking
you mean?
gas is retarded. Well, what's the
Oh
problem?
yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. Gas. What happened? Yeah, the gas got kind of crazy as well. And honestly, it was what's going on. So it was kind of like the end of DeFi summer in a way, which was like
Hmm.
pretty much 2020, where all the Ethereum V1 coins got hurt. Anything unless you were directly attached to a centralized exchange, or you just had a big economic mass supporting you, basically.
Right.
Hex was one of the weird ones in the background there because we created a whole YouTube community and a community of like we had like the strongest YouTube community for our size,
Hmm.
basically, which
Hmm.
is pretty insane. Like we were punching way above our weight class in terms of like how much we were YouTubing, and then it started, and then that's why we grew to number three, basically, and higher and stuff. So Hex, but what happened? What happened was, yeah, you're right. Then this what happened. This is something I always talk about too. Is like, everyone's like killing it with the money and stuff, but like people always forget, like, you have to have upwards mobility,
Hmm.
right?
You do.
This is really important. This is the same thing with like capitalism or things like with in that like
Any
you have
system, bro. Every system. What's the point of a system if there's no gains to be had?
right,
That's exactly what Hex was designed for. Like, I don't know why this shit's confusing. Right? Like,
yeah,
even if it's at 20, 50 cents, it doesn't matter. Because it's literally forcing the system to reprice itself every time motherfuckers is engaging. That's the
right,
whole point of the design. Like, strictly. Like, that's not even debatable. Like, the shit is designed to only create millionaires. So whether you're entering now, a week from now, a month from now, all you have to literally do is wait your time.
right. But
Everybody has to do it.
yeah, but there is some limitations in terms. I mean, one of the limitations for people right now is like yeah, there is a certain amount of money you need to stake something where it's economically feasible. Obviously, whatever you stake, you will be able to unstake it on PHEX, which is cool. But I mean, how do you feel about that? Like, there is going to be a PHEX and a. I mean, because it kind of like splits up the buying pressure a little bit,
Hmm.
which
Yeah,
is like
well,
the one negative I don't like about it, honestly.
yeah,
But
I
I know
get that.
it's going to come around basically, but it just creates seasons, which is kind of like
Yeah,
instead of having a steady simmer, you're getting kind of like just nice and flat, and then boom, then flat, and boom and flat, which is kind of annoying, honestly.
yeah. I mean, you just want the price to do the same constant thing over and over, right? Like, you don't really want any interruption or whatever. But the fact of the matter is that in something like this, because this is the thing that's most difficult for people to like come to terms with regards to Hex, and it's the last date, like how it trades, because it's not like anything else, right? Like, this market is specifically a pure market. Like, you're not gonna have wash trading. You're not gonna have motherfuckers in there just doing shit for their own book, just to repurpose their book or restructure their book. Or you're just not gonna have pointless moves, right? Very rarely are you gonna have the types of trades that you saw during the sack phase. Very rarely. And that's the kind of bullshit you see when you have coins on exchanges and shit like that. Like, people don't actually understand what they're talking about when they say they want that shit because they don't fucking know what comes with it. That's a fact, right? Because that bullshit we saw during sack phase where Hex was suppressed for a specific reason, there was an incentive for people to suppress it. Otherwise, nobody was doing that until that point in time.
Yeah, they're just cutting. They're essentially cutting out their competition, and I've said the
Correct.
same thing for Illuvium as well. Like whales will do whale shit. I mean, whales are cunts. Let's just be for real here.
Well,
Most whales, not all whales. Most whales are cunts.
well, they have the ability to be that, right?
Yeah,
And that's the way it works. That's the way it works, and that's why Hex is powerful because all that did was give somebody else the opportunity to size up. That's all.
right.
Because at the end of the day, how much can you realistically sell before you get fucked? Right? And that's the flip side of the coin. That's why Hex is powerful. People like that are simply putting themselves in a precarious position. Precarious position because what's left? All you have is time. Once you run out of that shit, you're fucked. And that comes in economic power also. So even though that entity was a bad actor, their fucking power is limited because they eventually will run out of ammo, right? So that's something that you don't have in the rest of the space because guess what? When shit like that is happening, that's a centralized effort. They're suppressing that shit on all fronts. It's not just one motherfucker.
Yeah, but I will say this though, there is still going to be like huge manipulation with the hex price and stuff.
Of
Just with
course. Of
in terms of
course. That's
especially
every
like
market.
I can already think of 3 ways already just with projects are launching on PulseChain of the kind of fuck shit that's going to start happening to P hex and
The
hex and
bigger the
everything like that.
market, right? The bigger the attraction, the bigger the players, the more fuck shit that's gonna come with it. Because the market is gonna get less pure, right? Like it's not just going to be people buying Hex, staking it, then selling it. It's going to be people doing other shit for other reasons. Like look at what we've been seeing over the past 50 to 60 days, right? It's been people coming in speculating on price because when you look at the data, the staker count is only going up.
Yeah, which is good. I mean, yeah, that's what we want to do because it's
Exactly.
yeah, it locks up hex and stuff, and then yeah. Oh wait, I'll answer something in the chat in a second and stuff.
No worries. No
Just kept
worries.
seeing something.
Yeah,
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, as long as the staker class is growing, it's causing the hex to become more rare, which
Mhm.
essentially just drives the price up, which is what we want. Like at the end of the day, like
Right. We all want the
number
same
no,
thing.
yeah, I mean, what we want is either steady price and t-shirt always goes up because it always goes up, or combination of price go up as well. But there is going to be 80% corrections, of course, or
Of
well 70,
course.
70, 80.
70, 60. I mean, look, we can't control what third parties are going to do, right? Whatever somebody does in the market, you can't control that. Like people got to get over that, right? Because that's what makes a market, right? Like nobody knows when somebody's going to buy, when somebody's going to sell. All you need to know is that you need to be ready for the opportunity when it presents itself because there is nothing else like Hex.
Right,
And then that's just a function of math and code. That's not a function of opinion. And people get that shit conflated, right? And that's why so many people have been left behind and not buying Hex when they were supposed to, right? Because people are too busy thinking they know shit instead of realizing, hey, what don't I know? What
right.
am I missing that other people are saying A, B, C, and I'm just too busy being a fucking knucklehead? Because that's ultimately what it is for most people. Because how
Right.
how is something making millionaires all the time and you're calling it a scam or whatever you're calling it?
I mean, it's been a big fucking psyop and shit.
A
Axiom,
hundred
what a
percent.
shit coin. What a shit coin.
100%, right? But that's the thing. Everything is a psyop to a certain extent, right? That's what
Exactly. Yeah.
marketing
Yeah.
is, right?
Manipulating the emotions and the feelings and the brain waves of the masses
Yeah,
through
yeah.
psychosis.
I mean, look at what they're pumping, right? They pump Shiba, and look at where that's at,
Yeah, man. I
right? A
mean,
lot of
at least with the games, I do understand. At least with the games pumping, I sort of understand it because, like,
Mhm.
I mean, the oldest cryptocurrencies that we've used, honestly, have been from like it's been game tokens inside of games, like Zelda or anything like
Right,
that.
but that
Mario
shit
coins.
ain't even on crypto blockchains, bro. That's some other shit.
Yeah. Sandbox and stuff like that, and decentralized and stuff. It is on Ethereum, so it legitimately is crypto and stuff, and it is its own economy. It's just gas fees just kill it. Like
Well,
those.
it ain't
Yeah,
there
and
no more.
the games are not that fun, honestly. I mean, it's cool to hang out a little bit, but it's like I played it. It's not my cup of tea. Like I mean, I really like it and stuff, but it's just like to me, the game isn't to that level where I'm like, whoa, this is insane. This isn't like mines like Minecraft or something like, which is so
Right.
cool. to play back in the day, but it was like really like alpha. I mean, it was really like it was in its beta or alpha essentially when we first played it and stuff, and then people now created this whole like. I mean, there's entire YouTubers that create just these storylines for Minecraft, which is kind of crazy. And this is kind of what's happening now. Like, it makes me laugh right now. Is like I step back a little bit. I'm watching. I'm kind of watching like on the side of my eyes a little bit some of the Hex YouTubers, and it's it's me fucking laugh. Like a lot of the drama is hilarious, man. And there is actually, I mean, and the same thing. I knew this would happen, basically, right? It's all like at some point it was going to stop being kumbaya, right? Which is I'm sad about, right? I'm trying to keep that, but there's a lot of fucking backstabbing that I'm seeing, and like people, like you tell people ideas, and then they they fucking try to beat you to them and shit like that, or you have you know their like respect and stuff in terms like I don't even want to get into everything, but like it's kind of it's all petty shit at the end of the day, but it's just basically everyone trying to be. I mean, it's like crabs in a bucket, even in the Hex community, with like the YouTubers and stuff, which is sad to see, you know.
Yeah, it is sad to see. I mean, you know, it's funny because a lot of guys, they talk the good talk, right? But then when the pressure came, they all folded, right? Like everybody isn't really about crypto, bro. And people that profess to actually understand what this shit is about, they've been exposed for not actually being about it. It's pretty clear. You know, you can't stand on one side of the line and think you can be back, hop back and forth. That's not how it works.
Right.
Simply. You know what I'm saying? Like you
No,
either
no, I get you.
Yeah, you either are for integrity and truth and what the fuck is going on here, or you're not. You can't pick a side and then try to be on both sides. It's just not how it works, bro.
Hey, Funding Jim, hit me up on Twitter, man. We'll do a stream one of these days and stuff like. I wanted to do a stream right now with whales and stuff. Just to, I see your comments and stuff. Fuck, and like don't worry, bro. I'm not avoiding you or nothing, bro. Like I wanted to pick whales only brain today.
Not bad.
It's good. No, it's all good, bro. No, it is. Like I wanted to have a little bit of an interview and stuff. Like, cool. I mean, obviously, I've done the whole thing with like Discord Syndicate where we've had like 15 people, like 12 people on screen, and that shit is crazy. It just becomes this huge like fucking like. I mean, it's fun though. It is fun, but
it's fun. It gets hard to get your message across, though. It gets difficult to have a conversation, and that's the thing. Like, what is the mission, right? Like is it mass adoption? Is it really mass adoption? Is it crypto in its true form? Like everybody has their own agenda, right? And that's not literally how it works. You know what I'm saying? Like the standard has been set. If anybody's individual agenda mattered, Hex wouldn't exist. And I think people don't really appreciate that. Because Hex came to the fore because everything else fucking sucks. Everything else is literally copy paste of everything else. All they do is add stickers and shit to it. Be honest, and that's just a fact, bro.
Because but at the end of the day, everything is copied of everything else as well.
Yeah, but that's the point. That's the point, right? That's exactly the point. But that's exactly the point. Where is the differentiation? Where is the uniqueness? Where are we going if all we're doing is shitting in each other's pockets? We're not going anywhere. And that's
I got a little lost there. Wait, what are we talking about?
What are we doing if all we're doing is shitting in each other's pockets?
Oh, okay, got you.
Copying everybody else's shit.
Yeah. There is this whole thing of just like, I mean, you have to. I mean, yeah, there is this whole thing where like, there's a certain thing of backstabbing, and a sort of thing of like I don't know how to say it, like. It's just hard to talk about without fucking having like the fucking just calling out like people and shit.
Yeah,
like,
no, it is different.
Let me give you this exact example with this exact example, and then just like then I don't want to put myself in the middle of fucking bullshit drama and shit. But honestly, they couldn't say shit to me anyway because it's like, dude, like I've been called a shit coiner and stuff, whatever the fuck I am.
People are always gonna say whatever, right? Like, look, people have when Hex was going sideways to down, people came at me because I wasn't talking about shit coins, and I told the motherfucker straight up. Bro, I ain't here to talk about shit coins. And I said that shit day one, so you don't even know who the fuck you're talking to.
Yeah.
It's that simple. Everybody can do whatever they want, bro. That's the whole point of crypto, motherfucker. But you can't sit here and act like you know better than the next man when you fucking do not. And that's the problem we're having in this community. Some people think they could just call the shots. Right. Not how it works, bro. When a motherfucker is lying to your whole community or to your face or to everybody, you gotta call that shit out. Period. Because that don't
Yeah.
fly, bro. You know,
I
it
mean,
doesn't fly.
I
I've
mean, I
never
did.
seen you lie to anybody. I've never lied to anybody. You seen Richard Hart lie to anybody?
No, not really. No.
All right then. It's very
I mean,
simple.
it's like, I mean, one thing. I mean, I will call out at least. I know I did think it was pretty pussy of Clay from Nomics and stuff to do that stuff with the circulating supply, but you could almost, and I know it's kind of like bullshit the why he did. I mean, I mean, like, I'm not trying to put, like, let's just say in some alternate universe, like maybe he was either getting pressure or payola from another site.
Yeah, sure, bro.
That's
That's fine.
that has a lawsuit
That's
possibly.
fine, bro.
And it's a way for them, if they're going to lose that lawsuit, to then add hex and have it lower on the page. But it doesn't matter. We're still on the page. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Like,
I mean,
we'll be back. Like, I did the math already and shit. Like, and the math may have changed a little bit because the prices are up and a little bit down. But like, if we go back to number 3 again in market cap, we'll be at 77 cents.
Here's the thing, bro. That shit actually does not matter. Like, market cap is so irrelevant, and that's the thing that's most annoying about it. It doesn't matter, bro. It does not matter.
In terms of like in the grant, but it's what we're tracking. Like that is kind of like bullshit.
Nobody's actually tracking that. People are tracking the price, bro.
Yeah, they're tracking the price, but they're ranking it based on its price times coins equals market cap.
So who looks at market cap? Who?
CoinGecko.
That's the question.
CoinGecko, Nomics, and Coin.
No. End users, bro. Nobody gives a fuck about them. Who actually looks at market cap?
People, because it's what people are using.
Yeah,
right
but
now.
it's
retarded. It's retarded. Like, I'll tell you that.
No. Look, bro, I'm not trying to get into an argument about market cap.
No. I know it, but don't give me. Well, you're my buddy. We're buddies here, but like,
yeah. Like,
this bullshit. Like this is something that's been irritating with all that. Like, when someone new goes to cryptocurrencies, it's like you have to have some fucking list to know where to look at shit.
Well,
so
that's the thing, right?
So like,
that's exactly the point.
We should have looked on price or utility or some other metric and stuff in the beginning, but it went to market cap for some reason.
And there's a reason for that.
Got grandfathered in,
that's a reason for that, and that's fine. But here's the thing. Here's my point. My point is, look, when I'm onboarding people when they're new to crypto, like entirely brand new, I am not sending them to some coin market ranking campsite.
No, but you're physically.
Like, I never have and I never will. Like, a professional, a straight up professional does not give a flying fuck about a coin ranking site, bro. I'm going to tell you that straight up, because in reality, that never matters. In the stock market, nobody gives a fuck about a market cap unless they use it for classification purposes and nothing further. That is the end of it. That is it. Like,
yes, but
that's it, bro.
Okay.
It's only a thing here.
You are right you're right in the grand scheme of things, but where we are right now in cryptocurrencies, we are.
That's my point.
That's how we rank shit. And she's like, "Oh wow, is this thing doing pretty good?" I know. At the end of the day, it's about the price. I mean, honestly, I could give a fuck if my token was like. I mean, dude, I've been in Hex since the fucking beginning, and we've been on fucking page 3 at 201 since the beginning.
Exactly, bro.
I know, but that doesn't prove your fucking. That's not the whole point of it and stuff. Because I've made tons of money by tracking coins that are coming up the list and be able to flip that for way more money and stuff like that. Of
course, I get it. You can look at things and
we're both agreeing on the same thing. It's just like we're going in a fucking circle jerk right now.
But that's the thing. But that's the thing that people don't get. Like, bro, Hex has never been displayed properly ever. You really think a fucking ranking site matters? No, it just does not. And that's the proof. It doesn't matter. Because if it did, Hex wouldn't be where it's at today. It doesn't matter. That's the proof, bro. Like, it's literally not a debate. Yeah, that is the proof.
We're the one of the few coins that's growing, because there's other coins in the same predicament. It's just smaller and stuff, And but like we're one of the few coins because we're actually building. Like, it's because we essentially right now what's going on is that we use YouTube and whatever podcasts.
Well, you do what you're supposed to do to get the message out, bro.
And what we're doing is it's because we're not getting marketed in the main marketplace. What's going on is we're generating leads of new people through YouTube and just our physical ourselves, and also as we get wealthier, then we're onboarding people that way. But it's sort of like we have our own email lists in a way to grow Hex. But it would be nice if we could actually get on like Facebook ads and everything else like that, and that sort of thing. So you're right, but it would be a nice help because it could also just turbo boost us if just people looked on there. Because it was nice.
Look, man, of course,
that's the whole thing.
I mean, does the obvious need to be said? Right? Like, this is the problem with this coin market, and I know I can talk with you about this because
Yeah.
you're level-headed, right? Like it's
Yeah,
not.
I'm not gonna take anything like I'm not gonna take anything like, oh no, my feelings. Oh
But it
no.
doesn't. But here's the thing: I'm just giving my point of view, right? Because my point of view is always going to be based on what I'm seeing the market caring about, right? Like, of course, it would be nice to have Hex listed on exchanges, to have all the nice shit everybody else. Of course, bro, that shit needs not be discussed. Like the fact that people think they gotta discuss that is stupid to me. Duh. No fucking shit. Duh. Like, of course, bro. Really? We gotta talk about that in 2020 fucking 2? Come on. Where the fuck have you been? Clearly that would be nice. Right?
Yeah, but in the beginning
that's
of
not the point.
in the beginning of the conversation, Wales, we just talked about how there's nobody here still. We haven't hit.
But that's the thing, right? But that's the thing, bro. Nothing but time, space, and opportunity. If you think a coin ranking site is going to determine the future of crypto, you have no fucking clue what's going on. That's a fact. That's not even an opinion. That's a fact. Because what you don't understand is that nobody out there even knows crypto exists, bro. And if they do, they don't have a fucking clue. Like, I'm telling you, I was in Albany yesterday, bro. The people showing up to these things, they're not people that are watching YouTube. They're not people that have a fucking clue. These are people that honestly, zero knowledge. I'm talking about zero. So do you think they're going to be sent to a coin ranking site that isn't even providing them with any factual information to help them with their fucking money? Because again, this is about people's money here. This is not about where the fucking crypto is going on the list.
Yeah,
like, bro, fuck all that shit.
You already have wealth already. Of course, you're not going to do that. But like,
it's not about having
I
wealth.
I use the word pleb as fun. It's just whatever we say.
Everybody's a pleb until they're not. There are plenty of plebs in crypto that got money.
We're talking about noobs here, right? If we're talking about noobs, they literally just go on like they'll go on like
a lot of noobs don't even know where to go. They're going to Yahoo, bro. Right? They're going to Robinhood and shit.
They go into Coinbase, and then from there they're like, oh wow, and then from there they'll search up their coin, and then here comes the coin racking sites, and then they're like, whoa, look at all these coins, and then that's where they starts the research. That's it. Like, it's just at a certain point you do learn the market, but it's like this whole point of like they are important because they do help at least filter some stuff. I mean, I'm not gonna stand here and just tell lies. Like, you know me, I don't bullshit when it comes to that stuff. Like there's a use for them. It is very corrupt what they're doing. Like, I mean, if I owned Binance, I would have done exactly what CZ would have done and bought CoinMarketCap straight up. But that was a smart business.
Yeah, of course, that's the funnel, right? That was the funnel at the time. Yeah. So it made 100%. That was a genius move on his part.
Yeah, that was like Facebook. That was like Facebook buying Instagram. That shit was crazy. Yeah. That was like insane what they did there. Like, I was like, geez, man, that was such a smart move. But anyway, yeah, like retail is dumb. Like we've said, let's just go back to the beginning, right? Like we're arguing about nothing. We're just arguing about like,
but you get my point though, right?
Like, still, like it's all the same thing. It's a flow of time. What's going on is at a certain time you end up I only look on maybe the CoinMarketCap sites just when a new coin comes out or someone tells me, and I just look for exact links, which I find useful.
Right, that's fine.
Links because you don't want to send people to like certain places to click on like bad stuff which is the fake link. Basically, so it's like whatever's on the websites. Once it's one of the major coins, those are the official links, which it's safe to click those. And so there is uses for them and stuff. I use them all the time and stuff. I mean, some people use Dex tools and stuff like that, or like who charts.
If I can, I like to use the actual coin link, like hex.com, for example, or the actual reference links for the shit. I don't even try to send people to like even Etherscan if I don't have to. I try to go right to the source. I mean, people got to understand. So let me tell this story. I was having a conversation yesterday with somebody about oracles. Somebody tried to tell me oracles were a good thing, and I laughed because in reality, you have people on Wall Street that pay billions of dollars every year to get, guess what? The precise source data, not some bullshit from some intermediary. So don't sit there and tell me a fucking oracle is good when that's why we have the fucking blockchain. Where the fuck are you from?
Yeah, but I mean, the oracle. I mean, but everything that we've created. So like, we're trying to create a decentralized world at the end of the day, right?
No, we're not.
You think we are? There is people out here that we are.
But
We
yeah,
definitely are.
exactly, brother. That doesn't mean that we are dollar cost. Come on, man.
Like no,
This is a
dude, like,
hustle
right.
like everything else, bro. Don't get hustled.
No, there
Don't
is.
get
I mean,
hustled.
no, you're right. Like, there's what's going on right now is, there is decentralized things. What's going on, and then basically the entities that are in control, whether it's the governments and stuff, they're trying to
Nah,
block them
I'm not
out.
even talking about that. Like that's the thing. I'm not even trying to take it to that level because it's not even that hard, bro. This is a fact. Blockchain was created to remove middlemen, right? Like that's not a discussion. That's what it was for. So on what planet does it make sense to think that you need something outside of the blockchain when that was the whole purpose is to get direct data sources of information? Just because your UI isn't cute doesn't mean it's not good. That's the whole point of it. Like, I don't understand that. This, like, what are we talking about? What is confusing about that? This is exactly why crypto exists. I don't understand what you young guys are thinking, but stop thinking that what's being sold to you is what's good. It's not. Crypto literally exists to remove middlemen, like intermediaries. It's not for a fucking
That's
chain link
lit.
to exist.
What are you talking? That's what I'm talking about. Like, I know, like that's what I'm saying is like I like to use the things that are decentralized. Like
Oh, my
I
bad,
use
bro.
Uniswap.
I thought you were saying
No.
that
What,
chain
what,
link
what are
was
we
good for
talking
some
about here?
crazy shit, bro. Like, damn. I'm like, hold on, bro. What's going on here?
Wales, what are we talking about?
Yo, that's why I was like, hold on, because I was confused for a second. I'm like, bro, do I really gotta go back and explain this shit?
No,
My bad,
dude,
bro.
you don't explain nothing, dude. I
My
trust me.
bad,
I
my
know
bad,
what
my
the fuck
bad.
I'm
No, no,
doing.
no, no, no. I heard you incorrectly, son. My bad, my bad.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
No, it's my fault. My fault. I'm just like, I'm
Yeah, no,
just
no,
like,
no.
yo, lately people have been losing their minds, so I just don't know anymore.
Right.
So no disrespect. I
Look,
just don't know anymore, man.
the reason that I'm not like freaking like I'm not like acting crazy because like I know exactly what like all right. I know what Wales is going through because I went through this as a Hexagon. Is just consistent. Like you talk to a lot of people who don't know a lot of stuff in cryptocurrencies, as well as you just have people attack you all the time.
Yeah.
So like my defenses, and when I was doing a shit ton of hex streams, like my defenses were always like it's almost like you like if even the slightest sort of jab, like and most Hexagons become very like like the attack or very and they start attacking in a way, So
Mhm.
and I mean, obviously I'm not like what's his name Matty Allen's therapy stuff or some shit like that.
Yeah, right.
I'm not like that and stuff. But what I'm saying is
Nobody has those skills, bro. Forget
I
about it.
understand what's going on because like this community, like the hex. Just to go back to the greater hex thing, like
Mhm.
the hex community has been like ridiculed and shot at and made
Yeah.
fun of
It's been a battle the whole
for
time,
no
right?
fucking reason at all.
Hmm.
So we're very thick skinned, but at the same time we're also very thin skinned and stuff.
Right.
So
Got to be reflexive to a certain
we're,
extent.
exactly. So we have no, if anyone says anything about hex, good luck, bro. I mean, it's worse than the fucking like the beehive.
Yeah,
Tech
it really
Beyonce.
is. I mean, you can't even control it. Like it's
Yeah.
crazy. Like they're coming out the woodworks whether you want them to or not. Forget about it. Yo, it's crazy. I see it all the time on Twitter, and I'm just like, man, these cats just really don't give a fuck. It's like no matter how many times you tell them, yo, just chill. It doesn't matter. They're like, nope, going all in.
Yeah. So I totally get it. It's very unfairly, but it's
Mhm.
it's very unfairly how
It's
the
the only coin that has to deal with that kind of shit.
yeah, I mean, we're like it's like I always say this shit as a joke a little bit. I'm not being serious, but like, but we're like the Jews getting kicked. I mean, like we're fucking it's like oh look, we're like oh hey Uniswap, this place is cool,
Right.
or like I don't know whatever websites we use and stuff like oh
Yeah.
Uniswap's so cool, and then Uniswap
Whatever
starts
we
fucking with us.
popularize just treats us like stepchildren, basically.
Yeah, and it's such bullshit. And then we're just like, fuck it, we leave. And then we popularize some other place, right? We let's Nomics, wow, this place is so cool.
Right.
And then he's
Same
like, get the
end
fuck out of
result.
here. And they're like, all right, now on to the next one. And it's just like we're just like drifting from place to fucking place, like the tribes of Israel and shit.
Yeah, no, you're right. That's a great analogy because that's basically what's going on.
Yeah, but it's made us tough and it's made us a good sort of thing. But it is the one though I will say this isn't negative about the hexagons, is like they could just turn it down a tiny bit sometimes. Just a little sometimes,
Well,
like
look, I'm
most
not
of the
gonna
times
disagree
it's
there.
warranted. It really is warranted because people are retarded.
Hmm.
People are
Hmm.
retarded about like this sort of
Yeah,
shit.
but
Like
you got to pick and
X,
choose your battles, right?
right, yeah, right. And like I really do appreciate oh my god, did I forget her name? My fucking god. Oh my god. Well, I forgot her name. Jesus Christ.
Nerd girl.
Nerd girl, thank you so much.
Hmm.
Sorry, nerd girl. I'm forgive me, but like shout out to Nerd Girl. You know, I know she's always doing like the building bridges stuff and everything, and I think that's correct. That's correct mentality. That's correct. I totally forgot about
Yeah,
your
look, bro.
back.
There's ways to go about building bridges. You know what I'm
Yeah, there's
saying?
ways of going to build. Yeah, it's better.
That's
You're
all
more
I'll
it's
say.
better with honey than vinegar and stuff like that.
Right.
And sometimes people are just stupid. Like you can't talk to people. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's the ultimate problem, right? Is some people aren't even willing to have a conversation,
Right.
right? It shouldn't take a girl to bring people to the table, and that's
Right.
what her position is, because most men just aren't willing to have a conversation. I don't
Because
know.
most men are just everyone's just trying to they're just trying to pump their own bags or something like that. So they view everything as
Sure,
competition in a way
yeah,
where like,
but
oh,
it's not
if I talk
right,
about this coin, then the money that should go in my coin will go into
right.
X.
But it's
And if
not
it
a
goes to X,
competition.
it won't go into my coin. You
I mean,
guys,
this goes back to what we were talking about earlier. How early we are,
right?
right? Like we're super early. Like there's literally zero reason for competition. All you got to do is have something that doesn't suck. It's that simple. Like that's how early we are, and
Right.
people don't appreciate that, bro. They do not.
So just to give an example of like what's happening right now, just because it's funny. Like so back in 2016, if I ever told anyone I was in crypto, they're like, "You're in crypto," and then I'd be like, "Yeah, I am." You know, like kind of like that, and like. And then obviously, if I knew they weren't in crypto, so now when somebody asks me, it's like, yeah, like, are you in crypto? Yep. Are you in crypto? No.
Right.
And just walk off.
Yeah. Ain't
Oh,
it
bro, you're
something,
lost,
bro?
bro.
Ain't it something? Look, man, I tell you what. Up until about 2020, I was a fucking leper. I was all kinds of shit. Now I'm a god, right? All it took was 2020 to make me a god because nobody else had a clue,
Right,
you know. And that's the thing. I mean, this is how it happens, right? And we're still so early.
right.
Still so early.
So
It's
let's
insane.
let's talk about this right now because I saw this is something that was really interesting. So, um, could you explain a little bit of how you done your staking ladders, are you just kind of staking up to a certain period, or like what is your like staking strategy for yourself personally? Because I know every hexen's got a little bit of a different strategy,
Hmm.
but we do fall in a range either like super long term or just more of a blend,
Right. Yeah.
basically.
So
Yeah.
I'm more of the extreme.
Okay.
My staking average is actually 14.6 years. And that's because
Woo!
yeah, my
God damn,
t-shirts are
whale.
90% loaded to
Shit.
to the max. So my mission, I based my staking ladder on my mission, and my mission was to become a billionaire and create
Hmm.
generational wealth. So once I understood what t-shirts were, it was an easy choice for me to make. But again, right, it's understanding the name of the game,
Right.
right? For me, the name of the game was getting paid every day, getting paid while I sleep, not having to do anything that's going to expose my book to downside price action, right?
Right.
Like every day I get paid, every single day. Nobody else can make that claim, right? If you're out here and you're exposed by just holding some bag, well, you're not getting paid by that bag. You're just holding it. That's it, right? And that's just a position. That ain't nothing else. So there's nothing wrong with that, but you got to understand that, right? And a lot of people they don't understand that.
No, no,
Um,
you're playing hex for the long game. I mean, if you risk it,
mhm,
you get the biscuit. You know what I
that's
mean?
it.
No, and
Yeah,
I see what you're doing, right?
that's
Like,
it. Yeah, and
yeah.
to me, it was I'm just replicating the Bitcoin trade basically in my mind, and that's all I'm doing. That's it.
So okay. So when you do your hex stakes, right? You just do 5 5 5s. You do like 50. Do you ever do anything a little lower than that, or what?
So
Because you are
after
you're not five. You're not like 15.2% average or
no,
15.
I'm not. I'm 14.6. That's right. So what happened? Well, what happened is that at the start, I had no idea what I was doing. So like everybody else, I had
Mm,
some shitty stakes, right? And turns out, well, those shitty stakes really aren't that shitty after all,
right.
right? And it was really because I didn't understand how the system worked and all that shit, right? Nobody did. And as the system progressed and we saw how it functioned, well, now we understand, like, oh, well, maybe a stake for 90 days at least or 6 months at least is a good idea if you're short term. Like, I've done a little consulting, so I've had to talk to people
Yeah.
that are focused on the short term, that they cannot, literally cannot think of a long term stake because they don't know if they're going to be alive next year, right? So I've had to help people with that frame of thought, right?
Mm,
So I know I'm a fucking hardcore dude, but I can think on both sides of the coin because, life doesn't give a fuck. And that's my whole
right.
message, right? Only you can take care of yourself. And that's the thing. But you got to know all the motherfucking things so you can make the right choice, right? And this is the whole point. So if you're the kind of person that likes to do, like, say you got a big bag, or say you got a small bag, and say your idea is, hey, I want to always be collecting income. I don't always want to be holding off like whales for fucking 15 years. That's insane. I get it.
Right.
You know, a lot of people aren't with that shit, and I 100% get it. I get it. Um, this is my thing. My thing is you got to at least think 1/4 at a time or half a year at a time. Because if you do anything less than that, you're not giving yourself enough opportunity to let the system work. And when it does, it does good things. So, you know, find that balance that works for you on the short side and use it to your advantage, right? Like, for example, something that I think is a good idea is if you're going to do a short, you know, like a short book, like let's say years 1 through 5, and you want to have a stake every 6 months, front load that shit, right? And what I mean by that is make your biggest stakes first, because T-shares are cheaper now, get most now, because
Right.
over time you're gonna let all the math do the work. Like we had a 24 hex payout 2 days ago, then a 5.9, then a 6, and then today we finally went back down to the average, which has been 5.8. Right? You want to be able to at least in the short term get as much as you can while letting the long term work for you, right? So that's why I look at it like, you know, a quarterly to a semi-annual gain from that perspective, because then you're giving yourself two sides of the benefit that Hex offers, which is just not capital appreciation, but also the yielding aspect, right? Like it's hard to get 10% a year anywhere,
Right.
right? So it'd be smart to try to get some of that upside while you're staked, right? Because when you're staked, you're exposing yourself to a lot of positive volatility, which doesn't
So
really
basically, what
exist.
you're saying, what you're basically just, if I can understand what you're saying, basically, for anyone at all, if that person literally can't you just can't push them over the edge in order to essentially do anything past like 10 years, then just having any stakes at all is just beneficial, because like a 1 year stake is still giving them like, what is it, like 11-12% APY.
Yeah,
And
that's right.
so yeah, no, and I fully agree with that. Like you should, everyone should, if you're in Hex, it's kind of stupid that you don't have any stakes. It's kind of retarded. Like it really is. But there is this whole thing where like it is time preference, right? So some person that's really
Yeah,
old, some people that's really old, a 15-year stake.
not gonna
I
happen.
mean, like, unless they're leaving it to family, but that's different. That's
Yeah,
different.
that's
Yeah,
not gonna.
but
That's not
it
for them.
depends on goals. So that's a big thing. So like just so I explain like what my strategy is, right? I have a big blended strategy where I have Hex coming out every fucking year, like
Right.
perpetually. So I have Hex coming out forever. And basically what I'm creating is a long-term staking ladder in terms of it's a sort of a thing where like, all right, let's just say what I personally did is I basically skipped the first year of Hex, and then I went straight to year 2, which is right now basically.
Right.
And what I did is I went from year 2 and went all the way up to year 15 or 5.
Wow.
You know, as soon as you get to year 15, I always did 5 for fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
but you know, like definitely I just did something like that, right? And what I did is I personally, like, originally in the beginning, right? Because it was a learning experience, because I didn't, like, you know, it was a long time ago, and Hex was very, Ethereum is very cheap in gas fees,
Hmm.
and you could get a lot of Hex, and a lot of Hex didn't cost a lot. So I used it for a little bit of time, you know, for maybe like a month or so. I did a lot of daily stakes, actually.
Oof.
Yeah. No, don't feel bad about me. They were in size. They were in size, so they were
Okay. So they
not.
worked out.
Yeah. I didn't do some crazy shit like 100 Hex a day. Fuck that.
Right.
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay.
No, sir. So what I
You're
would
good.
do, is like I would I don't know if I say the amounts, but like
I got
but
you. You good.
yeah, I did
It was worthwhile. Is the
a
point?
really good amount of Hex like on this day. Then I did it again, and so I would buy a bunch of Hex, and then I would do, okay. So I would do 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and I would do a lot of daily stakes where I would make 10 stakes in that one day for 10 years.
Right.
And the reason I only went up to 10 years in the beginning was because Richard Hart was pretty much saying in the beginning, I mean, this is a fact, kind of fucked my ladder up a little bit.
I've heard this story before.
Fucked my ladder up a little bit.
Yes.
You know, he said, like,
Yes.
yeah, I don't really see the point of doing doing like a 15-year ladder. And it's like 10 years.
Yeah, it didn't make sense to a lot of people at the time. I know.
Yeah, so I was like, yes, sir.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So I did a lot of like 1 to 10 year stakes, and then eventually I was like, as soon as we got around maybe like January, I started going like, you know what, I'm gonna change the strategy up a little bit. I'm probably gonna quarterlies, and that's what I did. So I do a lot of quarterly. So from there I just did a lot of quarterlies up until like 15 years, and that's essentially what I did after that. Once Richard started to figure, I think in the community kind of came to consensus where like, well, why wouldn't you want to push it out to 15 years? Or 11, 13, 14, 15 years because you get to keep that t-shirt rate for a longer time.
Correct.
And I was like, oh shit, fuck.
Yep.
And so what I did is I took a bunch of those stakes there, and then I emergency unstaked quite a lot of my 1 year stakes at the time because obviously none of us knew what the fuck we're doing. I was smart enough to know to make a ladder in terms of like I make sure to have it out on the same days, basically. Like that. So at least on that I was correct. But for that first year I kind of fucked it up. So I just emergency unstaked and then put it out. And the reason I like that is because, I basically I like having some hex at all times to take opportunities of like super big price appreciation, and then allowing possibly the chance of buying more hex to increase my t-shirts, or give me the flexibility to, if something happens in my life where I don't have to emergency unstake anything, and then I can so I'm just always collecting that year's hex, and I'm not really emergency unstaking something that I shouldn't be emergency unstaking. So at no point am I ever giving out like any of my stuff for like EESs, basically, and gifting my hard-earned hex away.
Right.
If I do ever, it's probably, if it's emergency, it's just emergency. I mean, that's why I do especially with someone like today, right? If I do a consultation with somebody and I'm making hex stakes and they have a significant amount of hex, I make sure and put sort of things like this is actually funny enough. This is something that I actually learned from GT from GT and stuff from back in the day, where he had 15-year stakes, but he would make 7.5-year stakes. So if for some reason he really needed some hex, he would have a stake there instead of having to emergency unstake the 15-year stake.
Right.
So, which was what I was like, oh wow, that's a really smart idea. So I always implement that if possible when somebody's hexing strategy. Yes, hexing strategy. To take profits at that point. So there's these instead of there's like in case of retardation, just unstake this one instead of that big one that you've spent so much time on, basically.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
No. I mean, it's crazy, right? Because who would have thought staking daily would have been a bad move?
No, of course, because Ethereum's gas fees was like less. Like I remember paying less than a penny in gas fees.
Exactly. Like you look crazy now.
Yeah.
But you didn't look crazy then.
Right? No, because I could afford it back then.
But it was affordable, bro.
Yeah. I mean, it was basically like this isn't fucking crazy. It literally would cost $100 or $80 for an Ethereum back in the day. And I would deposit one Ethereum or half an Ethereum or a tenth of Ethereum when I was going broke. I didn't have any more cash. Literally, I'd go out there and like do an extra house, mow an extra lawn, do whatever the fuck I had to do. Like I made it a sort of point. That's why I call myself Dog Calls Crypto. Is like I made it any point, like every day I would just buy some Ethereum and get some hex.
Right.
Like until and then there was, and like hex itself has like there's been points in hex's history where it tested my faith a little bit because like
naturally every investment does, bro.
Because like it wasn't like luckily for me my faith never broke. I always, no matter what, like I kept streaming. And it was just like for a time there was like a time where like it felt like almost everyone abandoned hex for a second.
So let me ask you a question, because I think this is going to be a good way for you to get to your point. What is the hardest for you to stomach, down or sideways?
That's a fucking. I guess sideways now. Sideways now. I would say down. I've learned to like it in a way. It's opportunity to me. When I see price down, that's opportunity. That's opportunity knocking. But it's the sideways stuff because it's not really just because like I'm hurting, because I don't care. Like I'm just waiting. It's just like I'm just like Father Time sitting in the chair. Like I just like hex outside to whatever to me. But it's the sort of what bugs me out is just like what hurts me about sideways is like I just see the fuck shit of all the YouTubers and all my buddies in hex when things are not going well in Hex or just going sideways, I see them all clawing at each other and like backstabbing and like talking shit, and like
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of funny that I hear I hear everything. Like the people are fucking snitches all the time. Like you talk shit, if I talk shit about Whales to like 5 people in Hex that are YouTubers or some shit, magically Whales is gonna hear about it.
That's
right?
life,
So
though.
like
That's life. But the funny thing is, it won't even be what you said. It'll be something else.
no, yeah, I mean telephone, but still,
Yeah.
at some point there is like, man, Wales is such a like, oh my god, bro. Like this guy was telling me, he's like, yo, man, DCG was talking about some shit.
Yeah.
But and then that's the sort of thing that just bugs me out so much because like like people are fucking like not tattletales, but it's chismosos. I don't know the right word to say that
Gossip.
in English. It's gossiping, but it sounds so much better in Spanish.
Yeah, it does because it has the right connotation. Which is
it just hits with that extra little smack right there.
That's
but
right.
Everyone's just chismosos and stuff, and it's just they clawed each other's throats and stuff, and it's kind of funny. Like all the major from the Matty Allen shows to the Discourse Syndicate and to the other shows and stuff, like they're all it's this giant like circle jerk of like trying to one up each other in a way, and like I know who started it. I'm not going to say who because I ain't going to be chismoso like that, but I just like I sometimes just shake my head a little bit just looking at them, just sometimes like acting the way they act, and a lot of them have put it's water under the bridge, but like I see it come up from time to time, and then like I've seen that reciprocated where some of the newer YouTube, like in terms of like what's going on in YouTube, in Hex, right? There's almost like V3, so like generation 1 would be something like I guess Discourse, Hexo, Crypto Coffee, and me, and who else? Yeah, maybe 1 or 2 other guys, maybe like Funding Jim and stuff like that. Then V2, you started getting like the Matty Allens and all that other stuff, and like V3 is something like Gerardo and some of the newer guys coming out in the space. Yeah. And like it's kind of funny, there's actually 3 generations of YouTubers.
Yep, going at the same time.
Total dog, yeah. And it's pretty, and I do feel like the newer generation, like the V3s, like some of maybe the Hodl dogs possibly, and Gerardos and stuff like, or I'm sorry if I'm butchering the name, but Gerardos and stuff are playing a little bit less of that game, where like the 1 and 2s are just fighting a little bit more with each other. And what I did is I just kind of stood away, like stepped back a little bit, and it kind of makes me giggle a little bit, but like it's just sad because it's like we're more powerful together than we are apart.
Correct. Because that's the thing. This is what we've been seeing, right? People opting for division, their own agenda, not for the community's mission. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Friends can hurt you way more than an enemy ever could, and that's
100%. Because a friend has inside knowledge.
Yeah, that's right, man. You can be a V9.
Mm-hmm.
And it's gonna happen. And then what happens is when a new generation comes up and they actually start popping a little bit, right? It makes the previous generation a lot more. It makes them a little jealous.
I would guess.
Look at this little fuck coming up. Oh, look at this fuck, thinking he's gonna supersede me, and that's not the right mentality to have, right?
It's not.
And then at some point, like I'm not, and no disrespect to what I'm saying, just an example, right? Like let's just say the V3s, which have named off, and there's some other people in there as well. Then the V4s come out,
right?
The next generation, and then they start feeling kind of like, look at these fucks.
It's always a competition when there is
right.
one. That's the thing.
It's a crab in the bucket sort of
like,
thing.
You and me are streaming, bro. Like I'm not a V1, I'm V2, right?
Yeah, no, but I've always made it a fact to treat everyone as if they were like a V, like.
But that's the thing. There's no actual division. We're all on the same side.
We're all on the same side. Like I remember this whole thing was like, yeah, you're day 1 though, but I was in the straight chats back in 2017 along with. What's that, motherfuckers? What are you talking about?
Like what? Bro, I had a life in 2017. I wasn't in crypto.
Ouch, bro. Ouch.
Like now my life is crypto. I had a life back then.
Yeah, and like actually what Brian said right there, especially when people get very envious, and the reason this is a part of like the staking stuff. We're going to keep talking about staking strategy because this is a big point of it. But I wanted to actually have Whales come on here too, as like. So it's like 2 different, like V1, V2, I guess, whatever the fuck.
Right.
Like, those are good
analogies, bro. Those are good analogies.
Yeah, but we're talking like about the whole greater thing, it's a blunt and stuff. But like we're all talking about like what I see, what's bothering me about the Hex community a little bit, and I want to kind of like bring that back together a little bit. But the thing is that some people are like Like I personally know some of the people in the hex community are fucking. They're off the they're fucking crazy. I mean, they're not crazy, no. They're actually mentally unstable. There's a couple people that I won't say the names, but like I really do think they're mentally unstable and they're very narcissistic. And like nothing's gonna help them out, basically. But they can play as a person that isn't narcissistic, but I can see through that shit a mile away.
Right.
You know.
I mean, this is the thing I'll say. You know, actions.
My God. Ugh.
Is that me?
No. I just think this guy right here just hit me like dollar calls. Looks like a guy who got me to buy Elastos in 2017. No. I only made. I killed it in 2017, sir. I did not lose money, sir.
I don't even know what that is. It sounds like some fucking spandex, some shit. Like some chicks wear on their freaking waist, bro. What is that?
Yeah. So maybe we should just get back to the steak. I just wanted that little PC. That's the main thing that bothers me because this is a greater thing that I see with the crypto. Like at the end of the day, like hex shouldn't even be fighting with any of the coins. It should be kumbaya. Like it should be us against. Like,
everybody should be finding common ground because we all have the same goal.
Yeah, we have the same goal. Like fuck these motherfuckers. I'd rather if the whole economic system's a Ponzi, I'd rather it be our Ponzi than their
correct.
Ponzi.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
100% agree with you.
It's such like someone's gonna put V1 and then someone's gonna make alpha. Like that's I'm in the beta, bro. No, I was in the alpha.
I mean,
I was on the test flight.
Look at how long Pulse has been coming out, right? I don't know how many addresses have sacrificed by now. The last number I heard was 80,000 and some crazy shit like that. But
are people still sacrificing?
Oh yeah, bro. Let me tell you something. Today there was a 28,000 sack that somebody told me about randomly. Yesterday, 100,000 hex. Day before, 2.6 million USDC. I don't understand it, but people are still sacrificing.
I get for people like maybe they want to sacrifice. Like I told people, if you want to sacrifice $100, so you have a little bit of
exactly.
For, that's smart. Yeah, sure. Why
not?
Like,
no problem there.
But that's it. But like 28,000. Well, hey, man, shit. There's more money.
I gotta echo.
Whatever entity is healthy.
Give me a second. I gotta echo. Give me a second.
Oh, do you? Okay. Oh, maybe I should just show off the Pepe's, man. I love this Pepe shit.
Yeah, that shit is hot, bro. I ain't gonna.
I'm on some
Pepe fan.
I bought a ton of Pepe swag, bro. Like you won't believe how many shirts and stuff I have. Like I have so much Pepe stuff. I'm so mad though. Like this morning I was sleeping and then like my girl didn't fucking answer the door when UPS came by and stuff, and then they just like. So I got half of my stuff, and so I have to wait until Friday to get the rest. And I'm pissed off, honestly.
Damn, bro, I know the feeling. Now you gotta wait 2 whole extra days. You thought you was gonna rock that shit for Thanksgiving?
No, I was gonna actually put some swag up here too and stuff.
Yeah, I'm a huge Pepe fan too, man. Yeah, at first I thought it was the weirdest thing. And then it just grew on me. I don't know what the fuck happened. I thought it were the weirdest things at first, but it's hard to not. Now I use them in all my thumbnails. Yeah. My thumbnails are straight Pepe. They ain't nothing else.
Yeah. That the one thing that we do need help with, man. We need to find out a good name for the Pulse people. Like the
my god,
it just rolls off the tongue, dude. It's so hard with Pulse.
Can we talk about that for a little bit?
Yeah,
because that's horrible. All the names have sucked. All of them. I have not liked the like what Pulsicans, Pulsers, like. But nah, I think we're gonna have to just not bother. I've yet to hear anything that's even halfway decent.
Yeah,
like
Pulsinators, Pulse Chads, the Goonies.
I can't. Yeah, it's crazy, bro. Yeah.
All sound sexual, yeah. Well,
all sound sexual, exactly. Yeah. Fucking.
Oh, bro, these are fucking hilarious.
Like ulcers, nah.
Ulcers.
We're not gonna go with ulcers. No. It's just almost like let's just not try. Pulse chainers. Oh, puss chainers. Okay, so you got me. I thought pulse chainers was good, but not puss.
Dude, these names are just like it just sounds like pussy. Like and fuck, man. It's just hard, man. It's like
pimps work. How about pimps? Pulse pimps.
Pulse pimps. I mean, hey, it might have to be sort of thing where you have to do that. You have to like like pulse purse, pulse pimps. You have to use something with a P. Basically, you just can't
Right.
like. It might be sort of thing where like, you don't have a short acronym, or you have
Right.
to do like a 2-word thing, just because it's like trying to rhyme orange or some shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Not happening.
Yeah. Pulse cats.
Fucking Pulse. But bro, people are still sacking. Like that shit to me is crazy, but crazy bullish.
Yeah.
Crazy bullish. Like
Yo, shout out to all the quivers. Yeah.
yo,
Pensicans? Prop man. All right, you guys are just fucking with me now. All right,
Pulse Riot. Pulse Riot.
yeah, it's a tough one, man. Whoever figures that out, man, they might have to get a Nobel Peace Prize.
Yeah, they'll be on the books for that one for sure. Because that shit is not easy.
Yeah, but I do remember some of the names back in the day. Like, fuck, I gotta get my old phone back. Like, I had a bunch of screenshots from back in the day on the Telegram chats from straight back in the day, and some of the names they were coming up with was pretty terrible too. But they weren't as bad. Like, it still wasn't that like everyone did the Hexinator and all these other fucking dumb names.
Hexinator, wow.
Yeah, Putos. I think that's a good name.
Pulsitos.
Pulsitos. I'm a puto.
Placebos.
Sir.
What the fuck?
Dollar cost pulse. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Impulses. You can
Yo, I wonder how many people are gonna dump their pulse as soon as that shit goes live. I think
I've heard the opposite as well too. Like people are dumping their
that's the thing. The opposite. So we know that whatever pulse is going to exist outside of the liquidity pools are going to literally be in people's wallets, and that's it.
Yeah. Someone will create a ratio. Basically, it's going to be interesting though what the ratio is going to be.
Right.
Like if we do trade with no liquidity, with no bridge. I'm sorry. If we trade with no bridge, then we're just trading off of ratios.
Right.
Which is what I'm very good at ratio trading. So
yeah, me too. I won't be mad at all. I'll just be there waiting for the moment.
Yeah, but I mean, I did sack a good amount. That sounds weird.
Exactly. Like, yo, my sack was in there, bro.
Yo, my sack large, bro. My sack large, bro. Man, I just dropped that sack on her head, bro.
Dropped that sack on them, and they didn't even see it coming. Call it a tea bag, baby.
Ooh, shit. Hit the like button, man. Hit the back button, baby.
Oh man. Yo, yeah. We're gonna have jokes for a while off that one.
I know, right? I love how we got less serious now. It's just oh man. Pulse bags. The pulse bags.
My bags be pulsating.
Yeah. We just call them POWs or something.
Yo. Yeah. I wonder how hard it's going to, because there's going to be trillions of pulse, right?
Yeah.
Like the supply is going to be massive. So it's going to be interesting to see how much is actually going to be available upon.
That's actually like, I don't know if we're getting a drift or maybe like a whole, if we get it all at one time, you know, that I mean, I don't know. Like
it's hard to say.
This should always throw curveballs, man. Like that's something I just take them out when they come. That's just is what it is. Like, the only one curveball that pissed me off a little bit, like I was pissed off, but I thought about it after a while, and I was like, all right, it just is what it is. It was like I thought I was gonna get like 200% on the fucking big payday or something. Like because it was like 600% for a while.
Yeah, because he had to do what he had to do.
Yeah,
a lot of people were pissed about
fucking destroy the price. Yeah, no, I get it.
I remember that. That was when I first like hit the chart, like hit the scene. Well, I wasn't even staking, and I wasn't even like I wasn't streaming nothing, but I remember people being really pissed about that. A lot of guys were pissed about that because they didn't realize he was going to go 99% stake the system. Right. So that's what fucked everybody up with their sizable bag because they thought they were going to get, you know, not just 30%, but 30% plus a sizable payout.
Right.
And that's not what happened.
Yeah. You know what really cool is if if let's just say in the future the pulse price is shooting up, I'm just gonna be I'm pulsating, bro. I'm pulsating. Woo, you know, But I mean, are you gonna? I mean, actually, I've never even asked you this. Are you gonna actually own any pulse yourself? Or
yeah. I sacrificed. Okay. Oh yeah, I sack too, bro. Hell yeah, you crazy.
Oh,
I
okay, good,
mean,
good,
it
good.
ain't hex, but damn, I know it's gonna pump. Shit.
Yeah, but it's it's like it's Hex's it's well wait, I better be careful not to say that's what I was gonna say. Wait, hold up. It's Hex's brother basically, or cousin
Basically,
or something. So it's just the larger cinematic. I mean, I've said this is gonna start making a lot of Hexicans into shitcoiners in a way
yeah,
because like I already see people are like,
It already has. It already
yeah,
has.
yeah, it's like as long as it has Pulse Dog, which I'm not shitting on Pulse Dog, but just an example, or Pulse
Mhm.
Pad. I'm less
That
mad
shit
at
ain't even
Pulse Dog.
related to Post, bro.
I know
Not
it's not,
even
but they're
like
grabbing
what
on
the
the name.
fuck? Yeah, like
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
riding the name. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like Polka Pad or all those. The same thing happened with Polka
All the
Dot
other
and a bunch of other
pads.
things.
I heard
Yeah,
there's a
all the
bunch of them.
pads. Yeah, fucking maxi pads. That's all they are.
Right.
Yeah, all on RC20 tokens, not even on the fucking platform themselves. Like
Yeah.
it's fucking hilarious.
Like, what did you just do? You just gave your money away.
Yeah,
You just gave your money away.
yeah.
Like, whatever.
But no. So yeah, I mean, I just have to see. Like, I've kept in like when I'm talking about PulseChain and everything like that. I've just not given any price targets or anything like that because I really legit like
I
before
mean,
I
you
make
can't
any.
give a price target. How?
No, exactly.
There's no
You
price.
can't. I see people doing it, and I think they're just they could be misleading somebody because you don't know because let's just say we do know the total supply. We actually do, right? But we don't know how much is circulating as well.
Correct.
And then that can change a lot of them because it's sort of that whole thing where like with the market cap thing, it doesn't matter anymore. It's just more of like,
What's
this much
actually out
coins.
there?
Yeah, exactly. So it's so it's just the sort of thing where like, until once I get all the information, then I'll start being able to like find out like patterns and figuring out like what's good ratios for coins, and then also what's like a decent price and stuff.
Right.
Obviously, at some point, like within the first week, we're going to get an 80% correction. Always happens. Every single time project launches, there's always like a right.
Get your bags ready.
That's when
Yep.
that's when you get some, and then there's gonna be points where you're gonna buy an all-time high. Like you guys are gonna buy an all-time high on PulseChain or PHEX or whatever, and then some cash, and then you're gonna be.
Who hasn't bought an all-time high?
I mean, I have shit. I mean,
I know I have shit. I just did the other day, and I'm still buying like crazy.
Yeah, and this is something interesting too. Most people, unless you are like one of the top 10 wallets or something who sacrificed, I do believe like most people are going to be underwater on their PulseChain when it launches. Of course, because it's going to start if it does start at 0, you're going to be underwater, right? So it's going to take. It's sort of like the guys who aped in on the first day and week and stuff. It took 6 to 8 months for us to for even the guys who got in at the worst price ever, not the guys today, which I'm talking about for the first whatever 15 days. It's gonna be that sort of thing where like the guys who got in on the actual worst day for PulseChain or whatever, right? That they're gonna get their money back. That they're gonna be in profit is what I'm trying to say. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yes, because people are gonna compare it to how much hex they sacrifice.
I've been wondering about that because my thought is that off the rip, people that sacked are going to be up. That's what my thinking is, honestly. Because my question is, well, people keep sacking, they keep diluting the supply, but how much of that, like how diluted is that supply? We don't actually know, right? So we don't know what it's going to look like. We don't know what the circulating supply, like you just said, is actually going to be. So you got two big variables, and variable one is like you laid out a couple minutes ago is the ratio. Like what is that gonna look like? Because a lot of the first price that we're gonna see is gonna be based off of that, and that alone. There probably isn't gonna be a bridge.
Yeah. It's like I would almost the only thing I can compare it to is probably since this is pretty strange in a way because we're launching there's going to be sort of I guess when it launches and we can actually we're going to get our coins, we can move at 0 value and trading starts until like there's onboarding of new money in there. It's all ratio trades, and there's basically really only 2 coins of actual like where people actually have. So it's basically all the hexagons who got the PHEX.
Yeah, I mean it's our shit basically. So it's only really going to be hex and pulse. So that's going to be the value, right?
Right. So it's going to be like Polkadot and Kusama.
I don't know
for swapping in the. Well, I know like in terms of in terms of that's how I'm thinking of it, just because I've seen the pattern.
They're related. Is that the point?
Yeah, they're 2 sister coins basically.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah. So usually the ratio is like historically it's like 10 to 1, right? But then which could be different. Maybe it's like 100 to 1 or something like that in a way. So it's just I'm kind of the way I personally think about it. Maybe I'm wrong on this, but I'm sort of thinking of like a VC sort of thing. The VCs are basically the people who got in, like maybe the top 15, 20 wallets in the SAC phase are at VC pricing because they got in cheap enough and they got enough points and the multiplier where they're at a certain threshold. I do believe that the whales and people getting coins will pump the price to the point where like they're going to be at least above water in the beginning, and then everyone else is going to be underwater for a while. And that's fine because some of the new pulse that people buy and p hexes that they buy, or sorry, PulseChain that they buy will be above water because they're buying it at a cheaper rate, which they'll be very happy about, and then they'll be up on that and stuff. And then eventually, over a year of time, everyone's in profits at that point. That's kind of how I think it's going to end up happening and stuff. I just don't know how it's going to be with the swaps and stuff. But I do think the rate people are going to be figuring out the ratios, so people are going to be scared to do them. But for the people who risk it, they get the biscuit. So the people who can figure it out are just trading between the two. And this is how you're going to start finding equilibrium. So it's going to be like waving like this, the ratios, and
like
then
a seesaw.
And then eventually it's going to get like this, and then just these moves here and there. And then maybe once a day there's a move like this instead of like the whole in the beginning it's going to be like this.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
like I don't know if you've ever seen this, and this is probably completely out of the fucking realm, but
people who sacrifice today are super down. Oh my god, you like I'm not gonna laugh. Like, don't sack me today, you guys. You guys are gonna
like if you sacking with some kind of expectation today, you out your motherfucking mind.
Yeah, maybe 2 years from now you're like, mind. I told you, whales, bro. I sacrificed, 3 years ago, bro. I'm up right now.
Look, there was a point in time a couple months ago where I had to even jump in the PulseChain chat to shut that shit down because people were still talking about it like if it was something to do. I'm like, hey, I sent tweets. I did all kinds of shit about, like, bro, what in the fuck? Like, you got some accounts out here on Twitter talking about that damn rate like if it's a price. Talking about the sack rate like it's a price, bro. And then it's talking about that shit like, yeah, it's going to be 5.5% more expensive tomorrow. Like, yo, no, that's a bonding curve situation. That is not a price. That's a mechanism in order to allocate supply. That is it. Yeah. That is not a price. So all you're getting is X amount of points, which is going to be a representation.
I've told people if they want PulseChain, right? What I would do if I was in their position, right? Obviously, no financial advice or nothing like that, right? Is like I would just go buy fucking hex right now
and hold it out,
and that's it. Just like this.
That's it. Yep. Zink. That's it. That's exactly what I've been telling people. That's it. There's nothing else to do. And if you don't want to buy hex, you just want to buy. You don't want to do all that, and just get yourself some ETH and just good luck with your fucking 0.03 pulse.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like whatever works for you.
This is where listening. So those guys that are talking in the chat. Okay, I'll call those guys V4.
What?
Okay, those guys talking in chat. So maybe the V4s are like, okay, V1, V2, V3, right? So V4 is probably the first generation of the Pulseigans in a way. But like, listen to the OGs, you guys. Listen to V1 and V2 on because they got bags and money and hex, and we're playing this like a fiddle. Yeah. For this, right? They're like, so that's the sort of thing where like you do need a certain amount of experience in a way to advance and shit. And eventually, I've gotten scared. Like I do, and like we will teach them and they will learn after a while. But like, man, I have gotten scared of some of the stuff I've heard on like I've sometimes just in the middle of my night I can't sleep and I'm like, hey, let me jump into the voice chat and I'm hearing like retardation squared.
This motherfucker said he can't sleep.
Yeah, I can't sleep, and then I wake up. I'm like, fuck it. Let's see what's going on in the voice chat on Telegram and stuff for Pulse chat and shit. Yeah, I'm like, it's like retardation squared.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's some really nice conversations in there, which is really nice, and some people really. There's a lot of sweethearts in there, really helping people out, and I really appreciate that.
Yeah, no, that's not what we're talking about, though. We're not talking about that. Yeah, we are not talking about the good stuff that happens in there because the problem is that the good stuff is far and few in between, unfortunately.
Right. It's just because they're new in investing. So these are the people that probably ape into the pancake swap tokens, and these are like those kind of people in a way, like that we're attracting. But that's fine because hey, we'll convert you guys.
Everybody has to learn, bro.
Yeah,
that's the only way this shit's gonna get any better is by people learning the right way. Promulgating the bullshit that doesn't work isn't gonna make the space better. because that's why it's where it's at now, and that's something that everybody has to work towards, not just people that are here at the top. Everybody, right? Like everybody wants something that's gonna be great all the time. It requires work, people. It ain't just gonna fucking exist because you wanted to. The fuck, like that ain't the way it goes, bro.
Yeah. I had to so that night I had to wake up for a meeting, and like it was already like 3 in the morning. I was talking to Charlie, my partner,
Yep.
my business partner. We actually were joking around in the background, not to say like make sure to say business partner, not say partner, because it just sounds like we're gay.
That's so
Shout
funny.
out
I didn't even
Charlie,
think nothing
but
of it
yeah,
because
my
I'm so
business
old.
partner, my
That's how
homie.
old I am. I didn't even think nothing
Yeah.
of that shit, bro. Like, wow, you young guys really got problems. Oh shit! I've never thought of that in my life.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm near San Francisco, so I mean, I hear things.
Oh,
I hear things, whispers.
man, that's
And
rough, bro.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
DCC sold his soul for a mega stack of fans, but no, I just got the cash, baby. I bought that shit cash. Man.
I don't even know what that is. Sound funny as fuck though.
Yeah, but yeah, it is kind of crazy getting. Actually, someone said something interesting. Like you're only 37, bro. But like, in terms of like, it does feel weird getting like older though, in a way, because we're still pretty young. Like when
Yeah.
as a kid, I thought maybe like 30 was pretty old, and then I'm like, oh no, it's pretty young. It's
Nope. I'm 37 too. It's not old at
yeah,
all.
no. I would say like 40. It's like 40, 42, 43, 44.
I say it
You know what I
depends
mean?
on how you take care of your temple, which is your body.
That's same too, man. Yeah.
Right. I take care of mine. So.
I'm closer to 20 than I am 30 though,
Bro, I feel like I'm 17. I'll go run 12 miles right now.
Yeah.
No bullshit. I don't miss a beat, bro. Fuck around, fuck with me if you want.
5-0. Man, I'm gonna have straight testosterone injected to the veins, son. I'm gonna be fucking. I'm just like at 50, man. If I got all my kids ready, man, I'm fucking gonna be juiced to the tits, man. Like full acai, like to the veins, bro. Like I'm gonna be like geeked.
Yeah.
I mean, I got too much Native American genes to lose the hair in here, Well, Miguel at 50 and stuff is like I'm way better. I'm way better in shape than I was in my 20s.
Oh man, yeah.
How did that happen? I just don't know. Just like I just take cranberry juice every morning and stuff, and just go for a walk and stuff, and with my dog. And yeah, I just have all these muscles.
Yeah, I'm in way better shape, man, than I've ever been now.
Yeah. Though one thing I do notice at 19, like I had infinite energy at 19. I remember. I don't know why. Like in terms of me, like in terms of my peak, like where I remember, like goddamn, the debauchery I got into at 19 was insane. Like I can't believe
Bro,
what
look,
I was doing.
there was a period of time in my life where I drank every single day. Every single day.
Really?
Every single day. I used to smoke cigarettes. I used to drink every single day. I used to have the craziest habits, bro. People have no idea. And you just got to make a decision. That's all. And that's as simple as it sounds. Is extremely difficult, but
Right.
you just got to make that decision.
Right. So I guess maybe we should just get back to like the little bit of
Staking.
like the staking. So in terms, so like, what would you I mean, for you, right? What would you recommend as a like? Because like I want to start stuff off in terms of like different strategies for different stack sizes for people, right?
Yeah.
I think maybe we should have a strategy for someone that has 10,000 hex and then 100,000 hex strategy. Because that's most people that are getting to hex now, that's roughly where they're going to be at, basically. Like if I'm going to pull up a coin market cap site right now, so please forgive me, Mr. Whales. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. I am so sorry, Whales. But like if you look at something like this, right? Like that's about $1,700. Pretty normal. That's I think most people could probably get that.
Yeah, you could have just asked me, bro.
Yeah, and then add a zero to that.
I could have just told you the number.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, just to show people on the screen, right? We're like talking 100,000 hex is like $17,000.
Yeah.
And 10,000 hex.
It's not 1,700 anymore.
Yeah.
Basically. Yeah.
But that's sort of jazz basically in terms of stack sizes and stuff. So what would you recommend for somebody that this heresy?
What is this heresy?
but basically, all right. So basically, right. What would you recommend for someone that has 10,000 hex? Right.
Yeah, I would definitely take at least 2,000 and 5,555 that. At least 2,000 and 5,555 it. I wouldn't even think about it.
Yeah.
That's what I would do to start out. Because the reality is that the longer you hold on to these T shares, the better off your future is going to be. So if you can afford to put off 2,000 hex for that time frame, please do so.
Yeah, that's what we call an asymmetrical bet.
Right.
It's just like the risk to reward ratio is just so great.
It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. It's like, fuck it, do it. You know.
Yeah. It's one of those trades that you got to make, and that's why 90% of my bag is that. Like, no bullshit. Because I know if that
I wouldn't
works,
agree. I wouldn't agree with that myself personally, but I totally fucking get where you're coming from. Like that. If I was trying to go for the goal you're going for.
Yeah, exactly.
I get it. Yeah,
that's my whole thing. Yeah, that's my whole thing. Like when I found hex, I understood it. Like I already knew it was better than everything else that I had seen up to that point. I already knew that, and I've yet to see anything come close. So good luck, because the thing that people don't understand about this thing is what it does. People just look at it for what it is. They don't understand what it does. I do, right? So I have that inside knowledge that I've tried to give people, but they don't really put in the work to try to understand it. So they're just going to get left behind. It doesn't matter. Like people think T-shirt race crazy now. You ain't seen shit yet. You ain't seen shit yet, because what's going to happen is through 2023, there's going to be all these shares expiring. And then there's not. And that's it. Yeah. So everything that ends up coming out, is going to be from this period in time. And then it's just going to be scant. So price is only going to do one thing, because who's going to be selling?
Yeah.
It's not that kind of market, and people just don't understand.
Right.
So they're going to learn.
No, they're definitely going to learn and stuff like too. Like, and I took offense to that comment right there. They say the V1s don't got the balls of V2. Sir, I've done 15-year stakes for like you guys. Like,
that is
and
so
this is
true.
like after I
don't got our balls.
At these prices, like if you ever saw that number, like where you could like you're like you could have that number in your bank account, bro. Your hand would be like over the 555. Like,
yeah, no, I feel you. I feel you. Look, if I was around early days, I would have had some liquid hex too, or some short stakes, of course.
Right.
Because everybody was doing that. That's what made sense. You can't knock people for that.
No, of course. So it's okay. So all right. So 2,000 hex for just to go back. Right. So 10,000 hex, you recommend that at least 2,000 be a 5,556, which I actually agree with. Yep. So what would you do with the rest of the 8,000?
So it would depend on how people want to structure that, right? Because if somebody wants something on an annual basis, they can easily take that remaining 8,000, divvy it up across those 14, right? They can either do one stake every other year, or take that, divide that into 500 chunks, and then disperse it across the time frame. Like it honestly depends, because they could just pick 5, 10, 15. They could pick 3, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15, right? Like it just depends what they actually want to do and how they want to divvy it up, because there's really no telling what those little chunks are going to be worth. I got stakes that are 4 figures worth, of hex, 2,800 hex or so. Like, and that, when hex was at 50 cents, I was like, damn, I thought these stakes was going to be pointless. But no, every stake counts. Right. So you have to figure out how long you want to hold that back for, right? And that's the thing. Like, you got to give yourself that time frame, right? Like, if you really only got 10,000 hex and that's all you can do, well, then that's all you can do. So you got to figure out, yo, if I'm holding these 500 hex for at least 3 years, what is that looking like? You got to really sit down and answer that question, because that's a decision you got to make and be comfortable with, because you don't want to have to emergency end that shit and it not be worth what you thought it was going to be worth just because. So you want to give yourself some type of frame of mind of what you think those 500 hex could be worth, because 10,000 hex is not a lot. Right. I mean, imagine 10,000 Bitcoin. It's not really a lot. But at one point, that
Yeah.
was not a lot at all. Like, it was a minuscule amount. Like, it meant nothing. But now,
So in terms of like what I would do in terms of like a 10-year stake, right? Like I'm with you 100% on it. There's a caveat to this. So like, all right, so because we're in a really specific time right now where like we do have the snapshot coming at some fucking point, right?
yeah,
Whatever
yeah,
it
yeah,
is.
yeah.
So let's just say 10,000 hex. That's it. Miguel, I can't do more. That's all I can do. Okay.
Yeah.
So what I would personally, this is me, what I would do if I was in that position, I would do exactly what Wales says in 2,000 hex at a 555, just for, fuck it, why not? I would do a 10-year and then a 5-year. And so that would be 6,000 hex staked out. And effectively, if I did, I don't know, I'm doing a little head math here, but that would almost have you a T-share almost. Not really, but you'd be at that kind of threat because it takes I think it's like 6,500 hex would get you a T-shirt today at a 10-year or a 15-year because it's all the same thing.
Let me check. I don't know
Yeah,
the exact number.
because you'd have almost you have 2/3 of a T-shirt, and then the 5-year would be a little bit less. So you'd be close to a T-shirt, but not a full T-shirt, basically. And what I would do with the 4,000 is just keep it liquid. Basically, I would have that liquid play so you can get the copy of it, and then possibly strategize in order to like possibly get into the PulseChain, and then kind of grow your bag, and then start making stakes with profits and stuff on P hex and then hex at some point. But the reason I do like the strategy of having a 5, 10, 15 for someone that only has 10,000 hex is that it's giving them an option of like every cycle that because crypto goes up and down, like we're in a bull market and then a bear market, right?
Yep.
So it would be put you in a position where you have something coming out every cycle, something, you know what I mean? And especially if like, let's just say even long term, right? Let's just say a T-share in 5 years is worth like a quarter of a BTC as an example, or a full BTC, right? But let's just say it's just to be bearish, only a quarter of a BTC, right? And as an example, Bitcoin's what's Bitcoin? Let's just say Bitcoin's at like $500,000 in 5 years, just like boring as fuck, right? Not doing shit, right? So in that case, that even having like a third or 1/4 of a T-share is quite a significant amount of money in terms of the investment that you put into that, because like 2,000 hex really isn't really much in terms of like, it's just such an asymmetrical bet, right? It's like, who cares? Like, I mean, literally like 2,000 hex, just to show people on the screen, like, $350 for the chance to make quite a significant amount of returns. And then like, and it's not even just like with the teacher and shit too, because like your reward over 5 years, you don't know how much emergency unstakes there's going to be. There's like a certain threshold that we're getting. We're on average we're getting 5.6, 5.8. We get 24. Sorry, hex 19, that sucks, but stuff like that. And shout out to that whale, man, dude. That's a rough story.
Yeah,
Man.
that's a shitty story.
That's
a shitty story.
It would have been cool if he could have passed that on to his family, or like I would have done. He should have yelled into the super yacht when I heard the story. I was like,
yeah, that shit was crazy when I heard about.
Yeah, I was like, you still
I
have the super yacht at least. But but he seems like a really nice guy.
He is. I met him in person in Vegas. He's a nice guy.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. You said that earlier, right? Yep.
Yeah.
So that's the sort of thing where like you're essentially doing like. Was it 350 times 3? I mean, really, you're essentially doing like a bet of like $1,000 for the chance of like you're going to get more than $1,000 in all that time.
Yeah.
And it's just, and obviously that's only the beginning. At some point, like
how much is $1,000 in hex right now? That's like what, 66,000 hex or so?
Yeah, 5,600. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, 5,600 hex.
If you stake something at 555, how quickly are you making 5,600 hex? How quickly? Like, that's one way to gauge it, right? How quickly are you making that 1,000 back? Like, how long do I have to stake to make that 1,000 back? And that's your measurement stick right there. Boom. Like, there's so many ways to break the staking game down. Like, we can break it down in so many ways. Like, like you can take dollar amounts and determine your staking length based on that. Like, okay, I want to at least give myself $10,000, and I only have 10,000 hex to play with. So if I break it down, I know hex at least gives me 5.75 hex a day, and base your math based on that, because you've seen in the history that hex really hasn't done less than that, really. Like, it'll hit 5, 6, 9 on a rare occasion, right? But besides that, it's typically going to be higher than 5.7. So you
Right.
can bank on 5.75, right? And be like, okay, well, let me divvy up my math for my money on my stakes based on that,
Right.
right? And it just depends, like, because everybody's not going to look at things the same way. So I don't know. That's one of the reasons I'd be like, yo, if you want generational wealth, 555s are the way to go,
Yeah.
right? That's simple math. Because there's not gonna, like, we don't know what's gonna happen in 15 years.
This is my favorite statement. Not to say he's like he's a good dude, but like this is why like this is counter trading the market, right? Like they're not thinking this is so. I get so bullish when I see shit like this. Like Hex is too controversial in the market. Beautiful, underpriced, gonna make money because like you don't ape it. Like when everyone's like it's like right now like everyone's fucking losing their mind over like sand or something like that, right? It's like
Yeah.
you're gonna get wrecked chasing the pump, right? You go look for stuff that's you know not being talked about or it hasn't pumped yet or like the next that's if you're doing that sort of thing, right? So to me like there is going to be a point where like everyone's talking about hex and stuff like that, you know what I mean? And it's like hopefully you get in before that and stuff so you can really stack up a lot of hex and t-shirts, at some point it's going to be like I remember even like how much was I'm trying to remember back in the day, like basically people would be really grinding trying to get a t-shirt, I mean a bitcoin.
Yeah.
People like just I became a full coiner. Congratulations, bro. Whoa, yeah.
Right.
And at some point in Hex, it's gonna be even in the P Hex side, possibly, it's gonna be like, yeah, I'm a full t-shirt guy. Dude, whoa, congratulations, man. That's
Right.
fucking
Right.
crazy. Welcome, dude. And that's gonna happen at some point. And it's
100%
some people
agree.
it's happening now,
Yeah. 100% agree. I mean, look, a T-shirt costs $3,446 at a crossover tonight.
Yeah.
That's a rent and a half for most people,
Right.
right? Like, let's keep shit correct. Like, that's a fact. 10,000 hex or 10,000 hex is $1,770. Like, that's a rent for most people.
Yeah.
You know.
That's a
So
1 year stake right there.
yeah,
17,000 hex is 1 year stake.
yeah.
365 stake with 17,000 hex will get you one t-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
That's what, yeah, right. So 3,000
19 no
bucks.
19,060 whatever gets you one t-shirt.
Yeah. No, I've literally done it on go.hex. I win. It's at 17,000.
Whoa.
Or maybe that's a 2 year. I have
I'm
to look, but
gonna look right now.
yeah,
I'll
go
give
for
you
it.
the
Go
number.
for it.
I'll give you the number.
I'll be right back 1 second though. Okay.
For what stake amount? 10,000, right?
No. I mean, just for a t-shirt at 1 year. How much hex you need for a t-shirt at 1 year? If you're just doing a 1 year stake.
Gotcha. Let's see. So we're gonna do 365 days, and let's see what's the quantity of hex that we need to get there. So 15,000 hex gets you. He says 17,000. It's a little bit over, so 16,750, 16,500, 16,450, 16,400. Yeah, so about 16,400 is a good number. As you go to 16,300, that's right below. So 16,350 is 2,225. Yeah, 16,320. There's your one T share. So 16,320 hex gets you one T share at 1 year.
16,000.
Yeah, 16,320. Precisely.
$2,900.
Yep.
And then it just keeps going lower from that base. I think I remember
Uh-huh.
doing the other day. It was basically every year. So as soon as you go from 365 to 2 years, which is 730,
Yeah.
it becomes 2,000 hex less.
Because that's at 20%. That's at
Yep.
20%. Yeah.
Every single year, you just can take 2,000 hex off. Boom, boom,
Yeah.
until
That's
eventually you hit the
20%.
10-year point, and then it's 6,000 and some change. I think 6,500. If I remember right for a 10-year stake. I mean for a 10-year one t-shirt stake. So it's pretty easy. You guys should all be going to like go.hex.win and just playing around with it and stuff. Just connect your MetaMask and just plug numbers and just have fun.
Hexcalc.net is a good site too to
Yep.
just play with stake numbers just to get price predictions and stuff of what you might think. Because again, right, like this is the great thing about Hex. Like it replaces so many things because it covers a broad spectrum of time.
Right.
right? Like there's nothing out there that allows you to put yourself in a position where you cannot screw yourself. Like, bro, I'm gonna tell you guys because you guys are, you guys just don't know. Like the conversations I'll be having. Smart money doesn't give a fuck about anything except making money. So when they learn about things like hex from people like me, there is no questioning what else is out there because they're not gonna care.
Right.
Because they're going to look at certain data points and I'm going to point them in the direction that I know they want to go. And they're going to plow millions into this shit and not even bat an eye.
Yeah.
Just to see. Just to see. And then what do you think is going to happen? We are not going to matter any longer.
Yeah.
It's
Can you
gonna
throw
be...
me that other website in the private chat, Wales, so I can just share it in the chat?
Oh, HexCalc, sure.
Yeah, just...
Like that shit, that day is coming, bro. Like we're so early, people can't understand what I'm seeing. Like we're crazy early. The day is coming where hex is high quality collateral.
Yes, sir. Oh yeah, that's definitely. I mean, that's coming. That's definitely coming. Like, let me just copy that.
Because it's just that good. It's just an economic instrument. It's nothing else. Like look at Mana. That shit's gone from 1 cent to $5.
Which coin?
Mana, the Central Land.
Oh man, I'm right. Yeah, it's
Man,
gone
I'm
from
sorry.
a penny to
fucking
$5.
Hispanic.
Yeah. No, man. I was like, man, I thought you were talking about magic internet money. Yeah.
But I looked at that shit today. I was like, yo, this is vertical. This ain't right.
Yeah. I mean, this is what I'm saying. Hodlers win, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you hodl, you win.
But,
I mean, what's that?
Yo, but that's why I did 15-year fucking stakes. Like there's
Oh
no
man,
tomorrow.
I get you, man. I totally
You know
get
what I'm saying? Like
it's
I
just
said,
like,
you know what?
I just like being able to take a little bit off the table.
Yeah. I get you. But I didn't get in when you did.
And then
I didn't get in when you did. So I don't got millions of hex like a lot of you guys. I don't got millions of hex. My millions of hex are going to come from my stakes and what I continue to buy. Yeah. So I'm filling in my ladder now, right? Like I'll do a year minus the 15, right? Like I'm always going a year back because now I'm going to fill in my shit because I don't need any more 15-year stakes, clearly.
Yeah.
Right? And if hex ultimately does become a stable of value, right, where things are being measured in that because it is that one thing, then I'll just be mistaking everything for 555 eventually anyway. So it's not going to matter because we're not going to ever have to sell it. So whatever, you know what I mean? Like ultimately, the whole idea is at this point in time, you need to be buying hex, period. There's no, like, that's it.
Yeah.
Because this is that point in time where you can afford to get it, regardless of the cost of a t-shirt. Like, get your shares up, get your income up. Hex is giving you the opportunity that you're never going to see again. And people do not appreciate that enough. That is something I will tell you as a fact.
Right.
Because still at 20 cents, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's below 20 cents. It's 17 cents. Yeah, which is like pretty good price. I think this is a pretty good price. I mean, I can only if it did go down, I don't really only see it going down to 11 cents. Really, I don't really see it breaking.
I wish.
Right, yeah, that'd be pretty dope. Yeah, I'm kind of like I bought some at 18 cents, maybe a couple weeks ago when it first went down there. I caught it at 18 cents, and now we're below that, and I'm just like,
yeah, exactly. Just rubbing my hands. I wish a motherfucker would, please.
Yeah. And it's you could tell who's new. I mean, it was really funny to see Richard getting kind of like, God damn, you new Mexicans, you guys are fucking pussies.
Yeah, that shit was funny. He really laid a lot of people down on that one. Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah, 11-cent hex back the truck up, man.
Yeah,
hell yeah, man.
I'm selling
shit. If it's 12, I'll pull the trigger at 12. Fuck it. But like,
yeah. I'm selling shit I don't own, bro. I'm figuring it out.
Yeah, but that's why I mean now because I'm I've been in hex for a long time. I just that's the way I sort of like I still buy hex.
Exactly.
I still buy hex, but I just do it more like ladder ins and stuff. So I just I just set certain price points. Like if it hits, then if it doesn't, oh well. If it does, boom, I get it, and that's how I do it basically.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Everybody has their determination of what it makes sense for them, and that's the whole point of hex. That's why it's so good. There is no right way. The way is your way, and that's it. And that's what people have to ultimately understand, and that's why it's important to know everything about it so you can use it the proper way. Because if you don't know everything, you're gonna make a decision you probably didn't want to make in the first place.
Right.
And that's my whole thing. Like everybody has to know, hey, 10 years is a max. If you go out to 15, you just raking anyway. So that's why you go out to 15. But if you only want to do 10, then that's fine. If you only want to do one, that's fine. But this is what you get. Max point. And that's it.
Yeah.
You know?
Hex Monkey has a great one. OGs that bought under a penny are still buying now. Think about it, folks. Whatever you buy now will get doubled on PulseChain when it launches.
Yo, we don't even talk about that like that. Like you keep talking about it, I forget all the time.
Yeah.
Like imagine having the best asset on a blockchain and having it copied.
Yeah.
What? Thank you, sir. Please come again.
No, definitely. So, okay, so just to go back to staking for a little bit, like we go on tangents and then we go back to staking.
Yeah.
But so what would you recommend? So obviously, I think we're pretty much in line, kind of in a way, in terms of someone that's at 10,000 hex, because it is
your strategy is good too, right? Because you're saying, hey, stake some, not all of it, keep some for when PulseChain launches, so you can really do yourself some damage.
Yeah,
because that's ultimately what it's about.
Right. Because like I'm very, it's going to be more of an idea. So it's going to be sort of like, I'm calling it the trifecta in a way, or like the trifecta, baby, throw up the rock, baby.
Right.
But like the trifecta, right? You know, you got PulseChain, Hex, P Hex, right? And there's going to be ratios between the three, and then money's going to be going like, like that, trading back between each other. And at some point, you know, if you stick around long enough with the PulseChain side, I mean, let me tell you this. Like, this is something I was even saying when Hex was first being brought out. Like I remember being in 2016, 2017, and like being like I couldn't really get into in the beginning of any project or anything at all. Like, you know, maybe the earliest thing I could, like, in terms of like when it started would maybe like be Ethereum a little bit, but it was that sort of thing where, like, you know, ETH was maybe $2. I remember it, and like. Litecoin was $4 and Bitcoin was like under 1,000, something like that, if I remember right. And it was, but still, that wasn't during the beginning. But so when Richard was talking about making a coin, I was like, sold. Let's go. So I was like, I was like, when the fuck do you get into a coin in the beginning? Like literally, like even like because I was like, yeah, like by the time you hear about it, you know, it's already been around for a minute.
Exactly. You know? Yeah.
So
I remember hearing about Ethereum after it came out, not really before. Right. It was already, you know, like 30 cents when I heard about it.
So yeah, so the way I was thinking about it is just like, so let me jump into this, and then so it's very rare that it's even rarer to get into a ecosystem when it first launches as well.
Right. Yeah,
it's a big opportunity. That means you can get into all the little, if you like the shit coins, all the little shit coins in the beginning if you like them. I wouldn't recommend it.
No, so can we talk about speculation for a little bit?
Yeah, sure. Let's go for it, man, if you want to.
So here's what I think is a good speculative strategy.
Yeah.
If you like, right, you got a shit ton of shit coins out there, right? You like them with a lot of zeros like me. I like coins with a lot of zeros because that's infinite upside. Infinite. You can take $100, toss it at any shit coin, and you're gonna be a fucking millionaire if that you hit the right one. That's all you need to know. What else do you need to know? The more zeros, the better, right? So you pick the one with mad zeros. You throw $100 at that bad boy. Call it a good night, because that's what crypto is for.
Right.
It's not for anything fancy. Like, it's real simple. Your speculation strategy don't even got to be more complicated than that. It really doesn't.
Yeah. Like, well, I like to pretend my strategy is a little more complex than that. But
well, is it really?
Well, there's some stuff to it, but yeah, it has to do with, like, I guess, timing and sort of things like that. But at the end of the day,
time shit, yeah.
I'm not really looking at like that many of the coins unless it's already really expensive. It's like, sure, like there's coins that have like fucking 5,000 coins or something, and they're like worth 10,000.
Of course, that's a specific scenario, right? I'm talking about literal fucking gambles here. Like straight speculation, baby.
Yeah, personally, I'll throw a couple flyers out there. Of course I am.
You know what I mean? Like throwing shit at the wall is literally what I'm talking about. Literally.
Just don't bet the whole fucking barn on it.
Correct. I'm talking about throwing shit at the wall.
A lot of people. This is a sad part. There's gonna be this first wave where, like, there's gonna be a lot of money made, There we go, V1, right? The first V1 shit is what's going to happen is people are going to start making money ratio trading or just, whatever happens with the price appreciation between PHEX and PulseChain. Then what will happen is there'll be a little bit of a downturn. It's going to be quiet for a second. And then the first shit coins come out.
Right.
Then there's going to be a big pump with that. That takes a shit. And it's just going to be like this consistent, like, whoop, rugs, of stuff until eventually
you gotta think it's going to move something like Ethereum to some extent.
Yeah.
Right? To some extent, because it's just a replication of that.
Yeah.
So, but that's my whole thought on speculation. I mean, if you're going to speculate right. Make your money stretch type thing. You know what I'm saying? Like that guy with Shiba Inu that he fucking dumped a K or whatever the fuck the number was. And now the guy's a billionaire by mistake.
Yeah, I mean, suppose I guess it was like 8,000 when the coin was worth 8.
Yeah, 8,000. That's the number. Yep.
Yeah. Now he's worth but people are not sure if that really was a developer or not. It could possibly be, but it could have been a bot as well because there's these kind of bots that just buy every coin just like haphazardly.
Nice.
So it could have been something like that, but you never know why somebody lost.
I want one of those bots. How do we get those? Can I get one of those bots?
It's possible. Yeah, I don't know if it'll be on PulseChain, but it's possible. Yeah.
I mean, shit. I don't mind a bot that buys everything. Fuck.
100 pulse into everything, sir.
Thank you.
Whales has the most coins in all.
I'll take all your shit coins. Thank you. Whichever one wins. Thanks.
Yeah. Talk to Wells the next day, like he's like on the Citadel and shit. How'd you get up there, bro? It's like, yeah, I bought everything, bro.
My coins brought me here, bro. It happens.
So Wales, how would you recommend someone invest into with 100,000 hex? Which is a large that's quite a larger sum of money.
Yeah, that's a big difference. Yeah,
that's a huge difference. That's like $17,000 basically.
Yeah. So interestingly enough, I would advise at least 30% 555, right? Because you got a little more to play with.
Okay.
Right. So you can give yourself a little more time in essence. So I say go at least.
Would you have it all in one stake, or would you
interestingly enough, yeah, I would just do it all in one stake just for simplicity's sake. Because why would you break? Why would you deviate from doing a 555 to doing a 5,495 or whatever difference the number would be, right? I don't know. I think that would be weird. What would your idea be for breaking like how would you break up a 555 portion?
Well, with 100,000 hex, I mean,
yeah. Because I'm thinking at least 30% of that got to be 5 max. Got to be at least max. At least 30% of that. What would your number be?
It would. I like giving people optionality, and just in case, I hate for somebody to have to, because I knew people, I had consultations with people back in the day.
But that's the thing. This is assuming they can, right? Because everybody can't do 555. We well aware of that. So this is just a regular general recommendation. You know what I mean?
Right. So
no gun to anybody's head.
Yeah, no gun to anyone's head. But it is important to give yourself the option should you get in trouble or something like that. In terms of so I always like adding those little things. So obviously at 555, even if you have one T-shirt at 555, it's pretty substantial, right? Because you have a T-shirt. So it would be the sort of thing where if it's 15%, I'd bump it to what is it, 12. I'd probably do 18% if we're going to do something like that. At 555. Okay. That way we could do 3 stakes at 1 T-shirt a piece or something like that.
Right.
Roughly. Yeah, just lock in 3 T-shirts, and then the only reason we're doing that is because regardless, gas fees are not going to really matter at that time, and even on the E-hex or P-hex doesn't fucking matter anymore. And what's going to happen is if for some reason that person did need emergency on stake, God forbid, that this is the problem that some people have gotten into is I knew people that had all their money in 3 stakes, and it's they didn't have a lot of options. Yeah. That's not a lot of options. So it's
I got more than 3 stakes, bro. Fuck.
yeah. And I've we just had bit the bullet and fixed some stuff, and then that's happened multiple times with a ton of different people. I've talked to a bunch of people where I've helped them out with that stuff and helped them out. Luckily, some of it we were helping them beforehand. Sometimes they're in a really rough spot where maybe barely now they're getting it was a 4-year stake or something, which didn't make sense with a lot of their hex. So they would have some emergency on stake to fix it up because they had nothing at they just did a a 4-year and a 5-year, which she didn't.
Oh.
Shit like that. There's just really janky stuff. People were just like market timing or just didn't know what they're doing and just said that was cool. And then Hex became something and they're like, oh shit. Yeah. So that's the sort of thing. You guys, and also with gas fee, like even what's going on with Ethereum, like you got to think if it is 15 years from now, it doesn't matter. Like don't think about gas fees 15 years from now.
Right.
Like,
it's not gonna matter, bro.
At some point it's gonna fix itself, but it's just not now. Right.
Yeah. It's gonna have to if it's gonna be around. Yeah. If not, it's just ain't gonna be around anyway. So
yeah. Because like this is something I actually had to talk with because like shout out to Motley the investor and stuff, like me and him really talked about. This really hurt my soul to tell people, like I used to tell people if you're gonna make stakes, at least make one T-share, right?
Yeah.
This Hex was cheaper. Also, like the T-share price was a lot lower, and it really hurt my soul. Because when the T-shirt price increased, and then the Hex price also increased as well, and then it became, for a lot of people, right, they didn't have like the whatever number 16,000 some change Hex to do a 1-year stake, and that was a lot of money to people. And I was like, fuck. So we had to start talking about fractionals, which is just like my heart.
Sucks.
But it was going to happen, but it just hurts,
Yeah, no, it sucks. It sucks, bro. I don't like talking about shares. I like talking about T-shares.
Right. Yeah.
It doesn't sound the same.
T-shirt maxi, bro.
Yeah, I'm a T-shirt maxi. That's right. I'm a T-shirt maxi. That's right. So like it does suck talking about being M shares. Like that's lame, bro.
Dang, bro, don't say that. I don't want to hear it, bro. I don't want to hear that right now, Will. Don't make me depressed. I don't want to hear that right now.
It hurts the heart. That's right. That's right.
So,
you should.
Yeah. So it's a sort of thing with like those damn it, I'm saying M shares now. Fuck. So okay, so with those T-shirts, right? And like, so I kind of came up with the formula. I did this for my own classes as well, like kind of like in terms of just because there is a certain amount of Hex you do need that's enough economic mass where it's worth it with the interest payments that you get on there, that it's worth to unstake it when it comes done. So basically it's half a T-share basically for a 1 to 3 year stake.
Right.
And then you can go to you can do something like a quarter of a T-share from like 3 to 5, and basically from 5 to 15, it can be a 10th of a T-share, because within 5 years there should be upgraded enough, and then the T-share price should be like this is where it gets speculation, right? The Hex price should be higher or at least stable, and then the T-shirt, like 5 years from now, if things are going the way they're going, we could have a 60,000 T-shirt price in 5 years to 100,000 Hex T-shirt, somewhere in that range. Basically, that's a lot more Hex per T-shirt.
So let me tell you how I look at the share payout and what's actually happening in the system, because a lot of people don't realize that T-shares are already deflationary, and it's not even a function of the price. It's actually a function of what the payout is going to be moving forward because of where the system is at. Now, when you're looking at the Hex T-share rate and the bot, right, on Twitter, you always see that it updates the shares, right? Like 1 Hex equals 51,110,895 shares is the last count, right? But then when you look at, there's another bot that's showing how many 5,555 day stakes are being made. Like when you look at that bot, it always shows the estimated yield.
Yeah.
Right. And the estimated yield is predicated on what the payout is going to be for the next 5,555 days. It's simple math. Right. So what I've noticed is that as the T-share gets more expensive, right, it's becoming harder to acquire that payout over time. So what is that payout? That payout was a multiple of 5,555. Now, when you're looking at these stakes that are being emitted, they no longer are multiples of 5. Like right now, the last tweet for that bot is showing a 4,000 Hex stake, and that estimated yield is only 19,908 Hex. Before, there was a point where that number would have been greater than 20,000 because it was a multiple of 5s. Now it's not. So T-shares are getting more expensive.
Yes. Yeah.
That's what that means, right? So the longer you wait to get that T-share, the more expensive it's going to be for you, right? And like, look, this 4,000 Hex stake for the max, 5,555 days. Sorry for misspeaking earlier to the chat.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, it's minting 0.6133 T shares. That's it. So 6 billion. What was that? 6 billion shares, basically, right? So again, 1,000 hex is 170 bucks right now, basically.
yeah,
So that's what, about 420 bucks, basically, give or
yeah.
take.
Give or take. Yeah,
Yeah. So locking that bad boy away, you're gonna guarantee yourself, assuming the price goes nowhere, right? At least a 4.5x, because it's at 19,900. The
right,
estimated yield, right, which isn't bad, right? Because we know where the dollar's going. So that's why this game is easy, right? That's why, like, you know, picking the right crypto is hard.
right,
But for what I'm noticing is that it's even harder for people to realize that crypto is the right place to be, right? like there's levels to this game. You know what I mean? And like that was the biggest takeaway when I was in person looking at what's actually going on out in the streets with relation to crypto. And it's not a lot. Like we over here living this internet life and that shit doesn't matter. Out there is what matters. Because that's how people are going to become aware of it, by us actually going out there and talking about it. Let people know it's a thing. Like, yo, there are people becoming millionaires off of this. You might want to come join. It's still early days. Throw all your money at this because the dollar is going to do this and all this other, like all this information that's out there for the taking. That's all just based on reality. Like it ain't even. It's just people just don't know, right? Because if they knew, they would make that decision. Because why else are we making it? We can see the writing on the wall. It's not hard, right? So that's why I think like the conversation, dude, is so much bigger than the one we've been having. And with time, we're gonna get to a point where we're gonna start having it because we're gonna have to,
yeah,
right? Because it's not. Look at the inflation right now. Like everything is going up in price everywhere, and everybody is feeling that. So crypto is gonna come to the fore because it has to. Not
right,
because they even wanted to, but because people are going to search for something to save themselves. They're going to need to. And that's how the human works. They're resourceful. So you can expect them to figure it out. And that's when things are going to start changing and it's going to be out of everybody's control. And it's going to get interesting for real. Because we can talk all the talk we want. We don't really know what's going to happen.
no, no, definitely. But I mean, but it's like we just knowing how strong the community is and everything like that. People are going to stick around for a long time. And
Oh, yeah,
everything.
yeah, yeah, for
It's
sure.
like, but
That's
we are speculating in a way still. Like,
yeah.
I know we are speculating, but like it's just that's why I mean that's why I kind of like do I in the courses I do recommend like 20% allocation. Some people can do more. That's up to them. Obviously, that
Yeah,
is.
like for me,
But
this
at
is a
least
big
the minimum is just like as of having like a little nest egg possibly there,
Yeah.
for yourself. Which I do believe Hex is going to survive for the long term. Or I wouldn't be in it, right?
Right, right.
but and I still support the
It's still
community.
a big bet, though, right? Like it's
Yeah,
still a bet.
it's a huge bet. Like
Yeah,
it really is doing like not even just that, and reputation as well as
yeah.
like all
Like
the
I
other
put my
stuff.
name on this shit every time I talk about it, right? Like we
Yeah.
all do.
I had all my Mana Decentraland buddies and stuff like that just fucking shunned me for backing hack. So like if I remember correctly, when was it? Let me think. So I basically got into Decentraland almost the same time around Hex when they launched, basically.
Uh huh.
And so which was December and stuff. So obviously I was doing all that stuff, and then I got more of a public face in Decentraland
Right.
once the game really launched and stuff, and then people found out I was in Hex, and then I had people drop me off and for being in Hex. So a lot of the ETF guys and a lot of the guys from like Sandbox I was cool with, and like Decentraland just kind of like kicked me a little to the curb. Shout out to Anorak, one of the real ones, and a couple other guys, and they were like homies and stuff. I never was Wave 3, was with me there. That's where I met Wave 3 and Anorak and stuff. And
Okay.
Yeah, we met. I just said like, "You want to meet my friend?" You're like, "Yeah, let's go." Like that, basically. But we met kind of like speculating on basically like t-shirts and fucking swag stuff on NFTs on the central end inside the Discord forums and stuff. And I mean, it's crazy. I met some of the best people in the world like through like Discord or Telegram, which is so cool. You know. But you know, like I mean, I've had to pay for being a Hexican for all these years and stuff. Now it's pretty like fucking. Now it's so easy. It's like back in my day, you know, we used to have to walk backwards through the snow for 15 miles to get to school. You know, like that sort of shit. Like you know, now it's a lot more easier to like people. But it's really hard for like somebody to, especially when the price is going up recently, when all the hex flexing was going on. It was real hard. Like real hard to fucking shut on Hex for a while.
yeah. I mean, it's
like Eric Wall waited until the price fucking like went to now.
Yeah, he had to. He had to.
Silencio when the price is pumping,
then
bro.
It don't even matter because we all know what time it is, bro.
Yeah, man. Everyone was buying like Rolexes and shit like that, and there all this other stuff, and like, and like just poverty-stricken other coins. Which is really funny. But,
poverty stricken.
Yeah, there's no fucking flexing at all. There's like it's just like it's a couple of guys in the top right there, just like they're balling and that's it, and then everyone else is just like all quiet,
Yeah.
And then you had all the squids and turtles and dolphins and sharks, and basically the whole fucking ocean just being like, shoot.
Like, it's fun from over here. Thanks for the pictures, guys. Thanks for the pictures.
Yeah, we were having a party, man. Hex.com, don't be broke. You know what I mean? Shout out to Legion, VC, and stuff and everything like that. But that's like it's really like that's kind of like all the cool stuff with all that stuff. But yeah. So in terms of like the 100,000K hex, right? So I'm in agreement with you. I think the only difference with me is like I just like giving people a little bit of options just in case.
Yeah.
But other than that, I would probably like myself. I would probably fill up something like 13, the 10, the 7, the 5, maybe like the 3, and then from there it would be more talking to the person to see if like that would be a minimum. Like we're gonna get a 15, a 13, a 10, 7, 5, 3. Then from whatever's left over, that's what we decide for a short-term stakes if they want them. If not, then cool. Then we keep this for liquid, and now we start filling up the gaps, or we just fill up gaps basically with the rest of it. But at least t-shirts basically. So we got to get these full you want to get full t-shirts because it could be in the future like people are like, yo, if you can get full t-shirts, get them. But like obviously there's no shame of like you got a bunch of half like 10% of a t-shirt, and then cumulatively you have 20 t-shirts.
Right.
Muzzle talk. That's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Well, however you can get them. Basically, that's the game. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I really think that your smallest stake should at least be 3 years because in a full 3 years, I mean, the games are going to be crazy, right? And that's what everybody really wants to experience is crazy games, right? Everybody really wants those big games. People just don't really want to do the work that it takes to wait for it. In most cases, and I understand that. But if I'm going to sit here and I'm going to give you a recommendation, it's going to literally wait at least 3 years because in a 3-year cycle, bro, if this thing takes off like we expect it to, that could be $100 per coin, easy. If it really takes a trajectory,
don't say it to me, Wales, bro.
Yeah, man.
I don't even want to think about it, bro. That's just like too much smiles.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, but it's possible because it's built like that.
It's crypto. It's already crypto. Like I can't. Like if you were in any industry and I heard someone say that, you'd be like, man, well, shut the hell. What the fuck are you talking about, bro? But this is crypto. This is crypto. Like I've seen it happen already. It's like it's crypto. It's possible. It's not 0%.
No, it's not. That's the crazy thing, right? Like it's totally plausible,
right?
You take 12,225 hex, stake it for 1,095 days. That's one t-shirt. Yeah. That's 3 years you're riding that bad boy. And if that thing just flies, because it went from when I got in, it was $50 a t-shirt. It went all the way to fucking 10.
Yeah, it's kind of funny looking shit back in hindsight. You're just like, if you know what you'd be like, oh, I would have baked in so much harder. I would have.
Exactly.
But it's the sort of thing too. You could do what you could do at the time. Like
exactly. But that's the thing. That's why you gotta think it through.
yeah. Like I'm not mad at myself. Like I did as much as I could at the time. Like I just did what I could do. I mean, that's why I'm not even whatever hex I have. That's what I have. The only thing I would say that just like so remember when I told you like I had like there was a certain important time in Hex's history where like I told you I said that everyone got very negative on it or just like so I was talking to a lot of the like YouTubers and people in the chats and stuff and everyone was like the negativity got to me to a point where it stopped me from DCAing for a little bit.
Wow.
Didn't stop. Never sold because I don't do that. I don't. Fuck. I'm not no paper hands. But it bummed me out. Like I did have like a bit of like I got a little sad just because everyone else was sad and like their negative energy like got to
rubbed
me.
off. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, it rubbed off on me, and then I was like, and this was like
that's the thing.
Like from Hexicans to like friends of mine to like I mean all facets of life and like from crypto to the real life, it got to like it was like I was gonna be a positive person in my life, and like everyone else who should be just as like hoorah as me were just like this and stuff. And I'm not gonna say people's names, but like everybody. I'm just not gonna say it, but like it was, and then after that I was like, man, fuck this. I just started doing DCAing and stuff and like that. But that was a sort of time. But at the same time, like I was pretty tapped out at the time too. Like I mean, I pretty much just did all I could do.
So it was a combination of things, huh?
It was a combination of things, but it could have been like, I could have probably DCA'd like an extra, like maybe I could have done an extra $50 more a day or something like that at the time, or $100 a day or $200 a day for an extra 2 months or something like that, and that could have been a decent amount more money. But but when I look back, I'm not really mad at what happened. It was like I did what I could, and that's why I'm pretty at peace.
Right, but that's the right way to look at it, right? That's why I say you at least got to do yourself the favor and think things through. That way you're comfortable with the decision you made, because at the end of the day, it's just like you said, brother. The decision was made. Done. That's the right decision because that's the decision that you made. You can't really go back on it. You know what I'm saying? That's why people look at my fucking stake and average like, bro, you crazy. I'm like, hey, the decision for me was simple.
Yep.
Billionaire or bust. And that was it. This is going to be the easiest way for me to make it happen. So I said, ride that wave. Done. Right? And if it works, well, I'm going to look like a freaking smart guy. End the discussion. And if not, well, at least I tried. Right?
I will say one more thing, though, in terms of like the hex staking strategies. Let's just say if you're the type of person who maybe has access to like, so obviously I'm not saying like, because I am like, there's some people that are full like, if you don't have it all staked, you're retarded. Like I'm not on that. I'm not on that front. Like no, sir. I like me some liquid hex.
Yeah, I use it as a bank account.
I like to be liquid, a little liquid. Not my whole stack, but like I like some liquid just for give me options. Yeah. But most of it is staked, like 99% staked or some shit. Yeah, but it's a sort of thing where like if someone has like a 250,000 hex and then they also have another portion that's a good chunk there that's liquid, like with a 250,000 hex, you should be able to get at least a T-share every fucking year for 15 years. Like that's like such a fucking no-brainer. Like if you got it like that, if you're sitting on like 600,000 hex or some shit, throw 250,000 out, just go. Brrr.
Yep.
One every year.
Why not?
Why not? Like why not? Like, get 15 T-shares or more. I mean, the minimum. Like if you got that kind of guap, like you got that kind of hex, like fuck it.
10 T-shares, 35 G's, basically. So
yeah. And I mean, they go from year 1 if you really want it, all the way up to year 15, and the 15 you go 555, but 14 then 15, 555. Like, and fuck it, like who cares? It's like if you got it like that, then fucking do it, because it's such an asymmetrical bet and it hurts you much less than the small guy. The small guy is really thinking about it, like fuck, Like, I mean, I only got 30,000 hex. Like, can I? Maybe I should see stuff. And no, and then I feel for people, because it's like I started at that point. I wasn't rich. Like I started, like I got all, obviously, thank God.
My first, I thought, look, you want me to tell you something I ain't never told nobody, bro?
Go ahead.
I thought I was good with like 20,000 something hex because of the price of Bitcoin. Yeah. Even though it was worth nothing, because you got to understand, I already knew the name of the game. It was to just hold the motherfucker. It ain't to do nothing else. That's why staking it for 15 is easy. What the fuck you think Warren Buffett would do? Staking for 5 years? Nah, motherfucker, that's not what he would do. You stake that shit for 15 years, bro. That's a no-brainer because that's what wins. That's what gives you the biggest gains, is holding it the longest. It's that simple. The question is, what's going to win the race? We don't actually know.
Right.
That's the question. That's the question everybody's asking. Some people are picking just hex, like me.
Yeah.
Some people are picking a whole plethora of things, like yourself. And that's all it is. Everybody's going to pick their everybody's going to pick their bag. And that's the way it should be. It shouldn't be any other way.
Right. So the whole there is this whole thing where like concentration versus diversification.
Right.
And obviously concentration wins if you're right.
If you're right. That's
but,
right.
So I'm more.
If.
Yeah. I'm in the middle ground. I'm in the middle ground with it. Like with like.
But you're exposed, and that's the point.
Yeah. But I don't spread. This is where people don't like. People only know like extremes, right? Like maxi or shit or full shit coin like drug puller. Like there's no in between. Like you're either simple jack or fucking big brain, wrinkle brain, right?
Right.
They're in one investment or they're in 100, right? And it's like no, I'm more like if in terms of if I were to look at my portfolio, realistically, I'm in like in terms of what size, like I'm really in like 6 projects, if that. Really. At one time, and then I got a couple. Everyone's got tiny side bags, but those don't even matter.
Just right, they don't matter. And that's the thing. As long as you respect your pocket, it doesn't matter what you do with your money, but you have to respect your pocket, and that's ultimately the message, right? Like, have your main pockets, right? And have your speculative, your speculative pockets, but don't treat your whole pocket like it's money you can burn, because it's not. That's all, Respect your pocket. That's the main message, right? And I like to speculate, right? But you got to speculate right.
So okay, so just to go back to the staking ladder, let's just say so this counts for the guy who has 10,000 hex to the guy who has 250,000 plus. Not 250,000. I'm sorry. Actually, 250,000 too, but like
mid tier,
250,000 like hex or something staked out and stuff, right?
250,000 hex. Wow.
Yeah, or 250,000 hex to 100,000 hex to the 10,000 hex guy. All those, basically the three. This is the 3 most likely like brackets people are in, right? And one thing that you could do is when you have a stake come undone, right? If the hex price is something you really need the money, then obviously take it out in profit, right? And it just this is what it is. Keep it moving. But if you don't need it as much and stuff, what I would recommend, and I've said this since the beginning, is like you just take the principal. And then you just essentially weigh out the pros and cons versus how much interest you want to add to it, or maybe you just take the principal and stake it out the maximum length.
Yeah.
Or at least 10 years or something. Because some people might build something like an income ladder, where an income ladder is like you hit the 1-year stake, then you take it back to 5. So you take the principal, then make it a 5-year stake. Then the 2-year stake, and you do the same thing for 5 years. And then eventually, by the time you hit year 5, every stake that you unstake's a 5-year stake technically. 5-year.
Right, because you just pushed them out like that.
You push them out like that, and that's a good way to like get a certain amount of money. You can do it. So there's going to be like strategies of a 5, a 10, or a 15. A 15 is going to take a while, but you can kind of get to that sort of state where eventually, like 15 years from now, like every stake that I unstake is a 15-year stake, and that's pretty fucking like. That's pretty fucking cool, and like whales, you could do that, and stuff, or it's possible you can like sort of get to a version of that at some point. And it's really really cool, and I think that's kind of what I think that long term. I think that's probably one of the best strategies, because like it would be nice, like maybe like hopefully if I make it out 15 years, like on this earth and stuff like that, that like by year 16, 17, 18, like it's all 15-year stakes.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, that's pretty dope. So it's like no matter what, it's like
it's just a big bag coming out.
It's just a bag. Oh, it's always a bag. It's like
yeah.
And then I can do
a lot of things in the world. It's gonna be nice.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
But for people with a shorter time, I mean, I probably would recommend someone who has like a shorter time frame, like at least make a 5-year one. Every stake after 5 years, you unstake your 3s, your 4s. Your
That's
5s.
why I say a 3-year at least, because at least you'll get a nice big chunk of that 5-year move, right?
Yeah.
Because you want to get a big wave. You don't want to play yourself. Yeah. Like you want thousands of X's, not some. Yeah. And that's the way I think of it. Like, look at what Bitcoin's done. All these cryptos are going to really do that. Any crypto that gets adoption is going to do that. It doesn't matter. It's just a matter of when, not if. And I think people really don't understand that. And that's why picking the best coin really matters, and the best coin is whatever you think is the best coin. And that's all it is.
Right.
But you gotta find one that has a community behind it that's gonna push that bad boy out there, because every coin isn't gonna be a Shiba. Every
Right.
coin isn't gonna have the whole world pushing it in front of you, you know? And even then, it's still gonna dump 60% like Shiba had, right? So you gotta understand the game. It's not easy straight cut. You know what I mean? You gotta really, 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 really think about what's being done here. Like, you gotta be a little more forthcoming with the effort, you know, in order to make this work. I don't think it's easy, right? But it's not hard either.
Right. Damn, it's an interesting game, man. I'm here for the ride, man. So,
Yeah, and that's it, right? Like, yo, I'm hoping something else comes along that's better than Hex. I would love it, because there'd be nothing better than having two big bags of the best things out there.
No, definitely, man.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
people I definitely hear what you're saying. You know?
Yeah, like, in my mind, it's not a competition. It's just I'm really picky. You know, I'm a really picky guy. I'm not gonna put my money in anything. Like, I'll, throwing $100 at some bullshit is cool. That's fine, but that's not my game. I really want to throw shit tons of money. I want to stop paying my rent again. You know, find me that next big thing, man. Like, yo, this shit is the fucking, like, you gotta you gotta buy this shit. Like, that's what I like. You know, I like to find that, and that's what Hex was for me. You know?
Yeah, man. The decision's simple, bro. We're going back to Litecoin. That's it, bro. That's it. You know. I mean, at the end, it all circles back, bro. I mean, you know,
always circles back to Litecoin. Goddamn.
Well, Whales, man, where can people follow you, man?
They can follow me on Twitter at the name they see on the screen. They can hit me up on Telegram too.
So what happened to Whales Only? Just Whales Only?
I don't know, bro. I think somebody else had it or something.
Oh, shit.
I'm pretty sure that's why I threw the one on then. Yeah.
So be sure to go on Twitter right now, you guys. Go to Whales Only 1, right?
That's it.
That's it, man. I mean, Dude Whales is a cool dude, man. If we're ever like arguing on here, it's like out of love. It's not. It's something serious.
Never. Nope.
Yeah, no. Me and Whales have always gotten along since the rip. Like the minute I talked to Whales, I was like, oh, I like this guy.
Yeah, it's always been love, man.
Yeah, man, dude. Yeah, it's kind of cool when you can't have an argument with somebody and you know it's not gonna turn bad.
Yeah, because it doesn't need to. We just have our differing views about whatever, bro. It's like, that's life, man. Like, you know, it's easy. Life is so easy, right? Like, we make it hard because we want to, right? Like, that's the whole point of staking in a way. Like, you just remove yourself from the equation, because if you ES, you're gonna fuck that up. You know?
Whales, when's your next stream, man?
I'm probably gonna stream with Gary in a little bit. Actually, I slept like all day. So I'm gonna grab a sandwich or something at the deli downstairs, and I'm gonna come back and stream with him. I might do a stream tomorrow. People are probably gonna be bored doing nothing, chilling with their family at home. So give them something to talk about.
Okay.
Something Hex related. I might do something tomorrow midday. I don't know. We'll see.
Is your YouTube under Whales Only 1 as well?
It's Whales Only. Yeah, they can just go to youtube.com/Whales Only. That'll pop up my channel, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, so be sure when you subscribe to my channel and Whales Only that you hit, you hit the subscribe button, but you hit the notification bell and you hit the all button, because the way YouTube's getting right now, if you don't have the notification bell set to all, it's not really going to spam your shit at all. But what it's going to do is not unsubscribe to you, basically. So I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's a glitch in YouTube, or maybe YouTube's doing it on purpose. But they're when you subscribe to somebody, you'll check like 2 weeks later, and you're like, "Oh, what the fuck? I'm not subscribed anymore. What the hell?"
Right. Yeah.
And it's just you have to hit the notification.
That's happened to me.
Super annoying.
A couple channels actually already. Yeah.
Yeah. If you guys can just, for just spending just a quarter of a calorie, you can help a young dollar cost crypto and Whales Only not starve to death with views. So hit the like, the subscribe button, and man, shit, dude. Like, hey, man, thank you so much for watching this, man. This has been so good. I hope this has been really helpful to you guys. Like, we do this shit for you guys, and one of these days I'll meet Whales Only in person and stuff.
It's gonna happen, bro.
We'll go to the bodega and get a sandwich.
That's it. Break bread, as they say.
Hell yeah, man. Well, have a good one, you guys. Peace. Maybe stream tomorrow, possibly. It is Thanksgiving, but you guys have a great Thanksgiving. Honestly, like, if I can spend time with your family while you guys can, because like,
enjoy that time.
Yeah, I mean, like you only have so many times with see your parents and your brothers and stuff like that. So fucking please, like, go spend time with your family, or go spend with no. Or if your family's kind of shitty, go spend time with like people who treat you right. You know what I mean?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Find love. It's a time to share love. Nothing else.
All right, man. You have a good one, man.